Èmi ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ fáráyé, èmi ò sọ nípa orílẹ̀-èdè mi. Ohun tí mo fẹ́ ni mo fẹ́ o, èmi fòmìnira fórílẹ̀-èdè Yorùbá. Èmi ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ fáráyé, èmi ò sọ nípa orílẹ̀-èdè yóò. Ohun tí mo fẹ́ ni mo fẹ́ o, èmi fòmìnira fórílẹ̀-èdè Yorùbá. Ọmọ aládé ni wá látòde ọ̀run. Adé orí òkè kì í ṣẹgbẹ́ wọn. Akíkandìyẹ máa ń gbógbèrè fún kọ̀lọ̀kọ̀lọ̀. Rárá kò jọra. Ọmọ Oòduà dìde bọ́ sípò ẹ̀tọ́ bàbá rẹ̀. Èmi ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ fáráyé, èmi ò sọ nípa orílẹ̀-èdè mi. Ohun tí mo fẹ́ ni mo fẹ́ o, èmi fòmìnira fórílẹ̀-èdè Yorùbá. Mi ò ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ fáráyé, èmi ò sọ nípa orílẹ̀-èdè yóò. Ohun tí mo fẹ́ ni mo fẹ́ o, èmi fòmìnira fórílẹ̀-èdè Yorùbá. Ìlú tán Ọlọ́run fẹ́ lọ lọ́rùn yọ. Èyí tó yàn ló tún ṣe lọ́gàn. Bàbá fẹ́ wá, owó tó yọ wá. Wọ́n ṣe wá lọ́gàn, ó tún wá fálùmọ́ ní sí. Èmi ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ fáráyé, èmi ò sọ nípa orílẹ̀-èdè.
Top dog.
Èmi ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ fáráyé, èmi ò sọ nípa orílẹ̀-èdè mi. Ohun tí mo fẹ́ ni mo fẹ́ o, èmi fòmìnira fórílẹ̀-èdè Yorùbá. Mi ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ fáráyé, èmi ò sọ nípa orílẹ̀-èdè yóò. Ohun tí mo fẹ́ ni mo fẹ́ o, èmi fòmìnira fórílẹ̀-èdè Yorùbá. Ọmọ aládé ni wá látòde ọ̀run. Adé orí òkè kì í ṣẹgbẹ́ wọn. Akíkandìyẹ máa ń gbógbèrè fún kọ̀lọ̀kọ̀lọ̀. Rárá kò jọra. Ọmọ Oòduà dìde bọ́ sípò ẹ̀tọ́ bàbá rẹ̀. Èmi ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ fáráyé, èmi ò sọ nípa orílẹ̀-èdè mi. Ohun tí mo fẹ́ ni mo fẹ́ o, èmi fòmìnira fórílẹ̀-èdè Yorùbá. Mi ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ fáráyé, èmi ò sọ nípa orílẹ̀-èdè yóò. Ohun tí mo fẹ́ ni mo fẹ́ o, èmi fòmìnira fórílẹ̀-èdè Yorùbá. Ìlú tán Ọlọ́run fẹ́ lọ lọ́rùn yọ. Èyí tó yàn ló tún ṣe lọ. bẹ̀rẹ̀ fún kọ̀lọ̀kọ̀lọ̀ rárá kò jọra. Ọmọ Oòduà dìde bọ́ sípò ẹ̀tọ́ bàbá rẹ̀. Èmi ọ̀pọ̀ ológo fáráyé, èmi ò sọ nípa orílẹ̀-èdè mi. Ohun tí mo fẹ́ ni mo fẹ́ o, èmi fòmìnira fórílẹ̀-èdè Yorùbá. Mi ọ̀pọ̀ ológo fáráyé, èmi ò sọ nípa orílẹ̀-èdè yóò. Ohun tí mo fẹ́ ni mo fẹ́ o, èmi fòmìnira fórílẹ̀-èdè Yorùbá. Ìlú tán Ọlọ́run fẹ́ lọ lọ́rùn yọ. Èyí tó yàn ló tún ṣe lọ́gàn. Bàbá fẹ́ wá, ó tún yọ wá. Wọ́n ṣe wá lọ́gàn, ó tún wá fálùmọ́ ní sí. Èmi ọ̀pọ̀ ológo fáráyé, èmi ò sọ nípa orílẹ̀-èdè mi. Ohun tí mo fẹ́ ni mo fẹ́ o, èmi fòmìnira fórílẹ̀-èdè Yorùbá. Mi ọ̀pọ̀ ológo fáráyé, èmi ò sọ nípa orílẹ̀-èdè yóò. Ohun tí mo fẹ́ ni mo fẹ́ o, èmi fòmìnira fórílẹ̀-èdè Yorùbá. Ọlọ́run dìde jọ̀wọ́ má ṣe wòran mọ́. Ìyà ìsọ̀kẹ́ ó pọ̀ jù lórílẹ̀-èdè. Ṣé bí wọ́n ló gbé àwọn ebèrú dìjà? Bàbá mi dìde jọ̀wọ́ jẹ́rìí ara rẹ̀. Èmi ò mọ ológo fáráyé, èmi ò sọ nípa orílẹ̀-èdè yóò. Ohun tí mo fẹ́ ni mo fẹ́ o, èmi fòmìnira fórílẹ̀-èdè Yorùbá. Èmi ò mọ ológo fáráyé, èmi ò polongo
orílẹ̀-èdè mi.
ẹ bá mi sọ̀rọ̀ ìtùnú sílẹ̀ Yorùbá yìí.
Mo fẹ́ o.
Àní ọmọ aládé jẹun bí irọ́, ọmọ olówó wáyé ṣàgbé, ọmọ aláṣọ wáyé wá kísà. Èmi fòmìnira fórílẹ̀-èdè Yorùbá. Mi ò polongo fáráyé, èmi ò sọ nípa orílẹ̀-èdè yóò. Ohun tí mo fẹ́ ni mo fẹ́ o. Èmi fòmìnira fórílẹ̀-èdè Yorùbá. Ọlọ́run dìde jọ̀wọ́ má ṣe wòran mọ́. Ìyà ìsọ̀kẹ́ ó pọ̀ jù lórílẹ̀-èdè. Ṣé bí wọ́n ló gbé àwọn ebèrú dìjà? Bàbá mi dìde jọ̀wọ́ jẹ́rìí ara rẹ̀. Èmi ò mọ ológo fáráyé, èmi ò sọ nípa orílẹ̀-èdè yóò. Ohun tí mo fẹ́ ni mo fẹ́ o, èmi fòmìnira fórílẹ̀-èdè Yorùbá. Èmi ò polongo fáráyé, èmi ò polongo
Orílẹ̀-èdè mi.
ẹ bá mi sọ̀rọ̀ ìtùnú sílẹ̀ Yorùbá yìí.
Mo fẹ́ o.
Àní ọmọ aládé jẹun bí irọ́, ọmọ olówó wáyé ṣàgbé, ọmọ aláṣọ wáyé wá kísà. Ọmọ alágbẹ̀dẹ wáyé sunkún ọ̀rọ̀ mọ́. Òye pa wá bí ẹni pẹ̀rọ, òye tún wá tàbẹ́ ní ìtúṣu. Ọlọ́run mojú wọlé látọ̀run, kẹ̀tí sí gbẹ̀mí àwọn aláìṣẹ̀. Àwọn ọmọ rẹ̀ máa gbé rọra.
Fáráyé. Orílẹ̀-èdè mi. Mo fẹ́ o. Orílẹ̀-èdè Yorùbá. Fáráyé.
And a very good evening and welcome. Uh, very good evening and welcome once again to Star Radio UK. Bear with us, there's another audio coming out. Uh, let's see why we're getting another feed coming out. Bear with us while we resolve that problem. Bear with us. Bear with us. Uh, Apology, there's an audio. The sound engineer is working on that. Uh,
is an inalienable international point and a law as well. And other countries will
Bear with us. The engineer work on the sound that's playing behind at the back. Bear with us. Bear with us. There's a sound now. Bear with us while we get sound in back from the studio. Yeah, sorry about that. Those of you that have joined us, we hope you can hear me on the other side of the globe. A very good evening and welcome to Star Radio UK Niger Voices. It's just coming up to 33 minutes past 6 p.m. local time in London. My name is Olayomi Koiki, and this transmission is coming all the way from London. We welcome those of you that have joined us so far, and once again, apology to that bit of technical sound that was actually coming through the feed. We believe that has been resolved. If you can hear me loud and clear through the airwaves, please let us know. Tonight is a very, very important night, just as it is always has been on Star Radio UK Niger Voices. Saturday, Nigerians, as we know, are preparing again for the next part of the final section of what we disagree with. That is my view. As a Yoruba man, I don't believe that another election will solve, the problem that we have presently in Nigeria. But nevertheless, we have so many Nigerians that believe in that election and have already done so with the presidential election that took place on the 25th, 2 weeks precisely ago, when election, was contested, and a result that has not favored some part of the political party. But on Niger Voices tonight, I would like to, look into expectation, because it seems, as usual, when election is getting closer, political parties are always using, the same tactics that have been used, since 1999. Let me remind us that the first election conducted in Nigeria in 1959 was rigged by the British government to favor one particular part of Nigeria, the northern part of Nigeria, in regard to whether the rest of Nigerians will be happy with such or not. But as Nigerians are preparing again, the question is, the presidential election that have just been conducted, there has been a lot of disappointment from different groups of people, especially the political parties. Looking at the Chatham House report that came out this morning regarding Nigeria election that we're going to be discussing as well, it's part of these hope that Nigeria will change when it comes to election. If we all remember that so many Nigerians were asking the question, why are the presidential candidates traveling all the way from Nigeria and then speak to Chatham House? It's not the first time. It has always been like that. And whatever we are now looking into, are we going to see the same happening this coming Saturday when Nigerians go into the poll? Like I said, hi, Olayomi Koiki, do not endorse and is not in support of any political party that is currently happening in Nigeria. But nevertheless, Nigerians still believe that things can be done and, Nigeria will be great, according to them. I don't believe Nigeria will be great because we have as many different countries in Nigeria, but we have all been locked together since 1914. If you've joined us for the first time, this is
Star Radio UK. This is Star Radio UK. In your car,
at work,
at home,
on your smartphone. Broadcasting worldwide online 24/7. Broadcasting worldwide online 24/7.
in your car,
At work,
at home,
on your smartphone.
The best radio show. The best radio show.
The morning show.
The best radio show.
Broadcasting worldwide online 24/7.
You okay?
Well, like I said, it is Star Radio UK. Once again, apology for the first half an hour where we lost, the sound coming in between the studio and here in the North London studio. Nigerians, expectation is now rising. Tension is currently rising, as we can see. Like I said, why is this tension rising? I believe because of the third force of the Labour Party, and it's creating a lot of problem. We know that the emergency or the emergence of the Labour Party has literally thrown a lot of disruption into the two major political parties that we've known since 1999. I'm talking about the PDP and the APC that merged in 2014, 2013, that gave what is now known as the APC and was eventually able to unturn the water around that won the election in 2015. President Muhammadu Buhari tenure is quickly and currently running into the final lap of his administration. We've talked about the 8 years of Buhari. We've talked about whether Buhari has done well in terms of his 8 years on this program. And we're going to be doing a lot of more review, because looking at the economy today, we can literally say the APC has destroyed Nigeria, and many more Nigerians, about 133 million Nigerians, are currently in the stage of the abject poverty, and Nigeria still remains the capital poverty of the world. Also, when it comes to the security, you would expect that this government will be doing enough when it comes to the protection of lives and property of so many Nigerians. The military might say they are doing everything within their capacity to protect lives and property, but I can confirm that just about few days after the presidential election, we have now noticed that the criminal terrorists have already started again. Gunmen raise home of an Imo House of Assembly candidate is the breaking news that is coming from Nigeria. We saw the fire that took place in Lagos State. I'm going to be talking about that. The Lagos indigene are concerned that Lagos State is about to be taken away from them by the Igbos. We're going to be looking into that as well. The Inspector General of Police have directed all the Commissioner for Police, strategic commanders to protect electoral process. I don't believe in that, I remember that before the election, the same Inspector General of Police had a press conference in Abuja and was literally pointing finger that the Yoruba nation are the one that wants to disrupt the 2023 election. We can now confirm from all the atrocity of the APC that we saw that Lagos State election was disrupted by the same APC that is now shouting that the Igbos are ready to take away Lagos State from them. It is not just the Igbos that have voted out as many of their preferred choice in Lagos State. We know that we have a lot of Yorubas that have also voted against the APC government, whether from the, as we saw in the election that took place on the 25th of February. So this Saturday is a very, very tense situation, and we're going to talk about that. But I'm not sure why the Inspector General of Police, Ahmed Baba, have not come out to apologize to those that are campaigning a very peaceful campaign for the struggle to Yoruba nation, for giving out a false information to the international community that the Yoruba groups of people that are campaigning have got all kinds of weapons to disrupt the election. But today, evidence have pointed to the same gladiator, especially the APC, that have harmed as many of innocent people that probably will not know the reason why they have been harmed, to disrupt and kill. And today, they are already crying wolves that the Igbos wants to take Lagos away from them. I'm going to be talking about that. Once again, let's go back again and ask the question, why these tension currently in terms of the election that is about to take place in the next couple of days? Today is Wednesday, the 8th. So by 3 days, in 72 hours, Nigerians from different parts, probably not all the state, because we know some states have done their own election, but most states will be going out again to decide who becomes their next governor. And this is why it is important, especially for those of us that are campaigning for the right to self-determination, that should we remain as Nigerians, let me clear this out to those of you that are concerned. Should we remain as Nigerians, Nigerians would have the right to vote whoever they like in any state according to where their polling unit and where they reside. Once again, very good evening and welcome to the transmission. If I was to live in Nigeria as a Nigerian citizen, I could decide to live in any part of Nigeria and live and work, business, school. I could decide that the northern part of Nigeria is much favorable to me than the southwest and the southeast and the middle belt. But it will be up to those within my community to decide whether I am capable to become their House of Representative under any of the political party of my choice. And that would then mean I would have to canvass others to vote for me as their choice into the House of Rep. Those within those community have the right to reject my own candidacy. But what we are seeing right now, especially with the tension in Lagos, is going to show different expectation that we have seen in the past. And the reason for that is, going by the result from the last election, before we go into that, I want to conclude that since the election was concluded, I can confirm that there has been more attack rising back again, where 50 innocent Nigerians have been adopted by the terrorists in Niger State. 6 dead. The terrorism slowed down just before the election, but the election has been concluded and the rising of the terrorism again in Nigeria seems to have taken up again. 50 innocent Nigerians. The question then is, what will be the expectation of the new administration of Bola Tinubu that is coming? Because we know that he has already said that he's going to be doing exactly what Buhari is doing. He's going to be taking over. Would he be able to protect innocent Nigerians, whether those living in Niger State, whether the right of the Yorubas will be respected, whether the right of the Biafra will be respected, whether the right of the Al-Zakizaki will be respected, whether Nigerians will be protected from the military genocide that is taking place in most part of the southeast of Nigeria, or the attacks by the Nigerian police, by the Yorubas that are protesting for their right to self-determination. We will know after the May 29, after the swearing in. But tonight, I want us to remember that Lagos belongs to the Lagosians and the Yorubas, and it is entirely up to the politicians to have protected the ancestral land of the Yorubas since 1999. Since they have been part of the government, and it seems that it's the same set of people that have controlled Lagos State since 1999. And if on Saturday, our expectation for those that believe in that election, I don't believe in it, and neither do I endorse any of these political parties. But as those of you, I would rather expect some of you to start thinking that your expectation might be wrong, as this Saturday might change a lot of narratives. First and foremost, it is not because the Igbos are planning to take your land. It is because there is a change that is about to swap into what is known as the territory of Lagos State by the APC and the other gladiators that have held the strangle of Lagosians for a very long time. They've held the Lagos State since 1999, and nobody today can literally tell you the accountability of governance in Lagos State. We don't know how much Lagos is really making. We are just told certain amount of money comes through Lagos. They might be telling you that development is in Lagos State, but we all know that the same Lagos has created as many thugs that are moving around 24 hours, intimidation, in the making of transportation that has made life difficult for so many Lagosians, whether those that have lived among the Lagosians, because we have about 20 millions of Yoruba people, or well, 20 million people that are living in Lagos, but not all those 20 million are Yorubas. We also know that we have those that have come from different parts of Nigeria according to their right. And we must remember this. They have the right under the Constitution of Nigeria to live wherever they want to live, as long as they are able to afford and live in that part of Lagos State. Since the government, since 1999, have not produced bills to protect the ancestral land, why then are they bringing out this tension that the Igbos are planning to take Lagos away from them? Are they planning to take Lagos, or are we going to see a different government that would also be able to investigate the criminalities that has taken place since 1999 and has been eaten away because nobody has been able to vet it from a different political party? So when you look at any government across the globe, when new government comes in, they will be able to have what they call auditing to confirm whether what we have been told for a very long time is true or false. I remember arriving in the UK some few years ago, almost 2 decades ago, and Tony Blair was the prime minister, and he was doing very well. But something changed the mind of the citizen against Labour Party during what we can call the Iraq War. The Iraq War was something that occurred in 2003. And let me remind you what Tony Blair said January last year. And this is exactly after so many years of what we have been told that have now come out to be false information around the Iraq War. Today, the instability in Iraq is still being felt by the Iraqis and those within the surroundings. But when millions of us came out to protest against us going to Iraq under false information that Saddam Hussein was going to be using chemical weapon to kill as many of his citizens, this is what Tony Blair said. Tony Blair can never escape his role in the Iraq disaster. Had it not been for the Iraq cognomen, Tony Blair will be seen as one of the outstanding leaders of the post-war era. I want you to listen to this very well. Had it not been that Tony Blair took us to the war in Iraq, Tony Blair would have been seen as one of the outstanding British leaders of the post-war era. A distinguished film that was produced that recounted to me an exchange he had with one of Tony Blair's closest advisor in December 2000. The official had just flown back from Washington, where he had been meeting the transition team of the incoming US President then, George Bush. According to this article, that what we saw from Tony Blair taking the British to that war led to what we can say the Labour Party also losing the seat of power. But today, these motion that the Yorubas are going to lose their land to the Igbos, which I don't believe is part of, again, the politics being played by the same politician that have run the affairs of the Yoruba land since 1999, but refuse to protect the ancestral land with bills and laws that would have slowed down should anyone planning to take that land. But each and every one of these politicians knows that that is not true. Once again, I've picked up the right article I was looking for. Tony Blair makes apology over the United Kingdom's role in Iraq war after Chicot report, and this was even as far back as 2016. We know then that Tony Blair, the former British Prime Minister, voiced sorrow, regret, apology after a damning report on the Iraq war, but said he did not mislead the parliament and did not regret toppling Saddam Hussein. I expressed my sorrow. This is Tony Blair. I expressed my sorrow, regret, and apology that you may ever know or can believe, said Blair, his voice breaking with emotion in a speech in central London. However, he added, as the report makes clear, there were no lies, parliament and cabinet were not misled. There was no secret commitment to the war. The intelligence was not falsified, and the decision was made in good faith. Blair made this comment at a press conference in London after the publication of the long-awaited Chicot report into Britain's role in the 2003 US-led invasion of Iraq, sharply criticizing him. The former Premier said the decision to take the UK to war was the most agonist he had ever taken, adding, I would never agree that those who died or were injured made the sacrifice in vain. Let me now reflect this back to Lagos State. There has been a lot that has been boiling in the heart of millions of the residents living in Lagos State, whether they are Yorubas, whether they are from Edo, whether they are from Benin, whether they are Igbos, whether they are Hausas. I'm talking back as far back as 1999, after the emergency of a new democracy that took place that brought in Bola Tinubu as the first governor of Lagos State. But there are some pending issues that has been going on within the Lagos State that have been hidden under the carpet. And we can talk about so many of such. But the one that I'm going to pick up that will recollect the minds of so many Lagosians is Funshaw Williams. Funshaw Williams was killed in Lagos State. Until date, you would have expected that at least the inquiries and the reasons and those behind the killings of Funshaw Williams would have been made public. But 23 years down the line today, nobody, I say no inquiries to detect, to find out, punish, and send individuals to prison for the killing of what we can call a Lagosian or someone that is very influential in what we call Lagos State today. Funshaw Williams, for those that probably doesn't know who Funshaw Williams is, let's give you a background of who Funshaw Williams is. Anthony Olufunshaw Williams was born on the 9th of May 1948 and was assassinated in Lagos State. A lot of people know those individuals behind this assassination, but they have been keeping this pain in their heart for a very, very long time. So the impunity that has been going on in Lagos State is about to be exposed, and they are now playing the ethnic card that the Igbos are going to take Lagos from them. Like I said, I do not believe that cock and bull story, because nobody can take our ancestral land away from us. Lagos remain a Yoruba land, and it will continue to make a Yoruba land under Nigeria until we are able to break away from Nigeria and we can protect, just as the UK has done yesterday, where the Prime Minister, Rishi Sunak, has given us a new bill to protect the British citizen from the illegal immigrant, the exploitation of those that are trying to get into the UK using the boats. But you can't do much right now because we still remain in Nigeria, and that means that Nigerians will be going out to vote, not just in Lagos State. We've seen the tsunami of what is changing within the different states, and this Saturday, expectation that you have thought about some few years ago is not going to happen. We must all now prepare our mind that it is not just Lagos State. The remaining states that are going into this election would also have a lot of changes, whether in favorable to those of you that still believe in one Nigeria for the time being, whether for those of us that are against being part of Nigeria, but something will lead to something, to the change of government in almost every part of Nigeria, and you must prepare your mind for such. If you're joining me for the first time, I will say good evening and welcome to Star Radio UK.
On your smartphone.
In your car,
At work.
at home,
On your smartphone.
in your car,
At work.
at home.
On your smartphone.
So let me say this to Nigerians that wants to vote. Like I said, we are not endorsing any of these political parties. But your civic right, as you've been told, will determine where you cast that vote into. I will not encourage you to vote in one direction. It is entirely up to you how you want to vote, because I don't believe that your voting is going to take us out into a new Nigeria, as a lot of you are expecting. You might create a lot of problem, especially for those politicians that are concerned. Let me go back once more time to Funshaw Anthony Williams that was assassinated in Lagos State. There are still people, there are still Lagosians that are angry that from 2006 to date, we've not been able to get any justice for Funshaw Williams. No justice yet. And you're expecting a result that is going to favor you this coming Saturday. It is no longer a PDP and an APC contest in Nigeria, not literally Lagos State. It is now a contest between some Nigerians, whether they are Yorubas, they are Igbos, they are Hausas, they are Kanuris, they are, Fulanis, whatever they are, among the 370 ethnic groups that has been put wrongly by the British in 1914. Because that has been our own argument. That how do you expect us to live together? How do you expect us to live, in harmony when we do not speak, we do not have the same, kind of culture? But the British believe that that can be resolved by going into election every 4 years. And that literally means that your expectation over this weekend should start thinking that it is not the usual politics that you have known, and we should not use these ethnic, that the Igbos are going to take away Lagos City from you. I do not buy into that nonsense, and there's no way anyone can cajole somebody like me to such. That is my view. I believe that what is playing out, especially in Lagos State, is the feelings of the citizens that are rising up. Whether some of you think that they are not rising up in the right way, because I've had a lot of argument that, these are you that do not understand history, and they might vote something that might not favor. I listened to a video, and I don't want to give any endorsement or any kind, but the video that I listened to, the woman was saying that while she was the she worked within the Lagos State as a town planning or something of such, that every time there's a file on her desk in Okota, I believe the videos on the social media, and she was saying that 9 out of those in that file are Igbo that have bought land. And I'm talking about as far back as around maybe 1999, because she was also congratulating to say she loves Tinubu, because every one of them believe that it is the right of one particular person to employ you, and then you must say, oh, we love him. No, in politics, if you're doing the right thing, you should go in there, serve the people, and go. But again, it doesn't work like that in reality. So if this woman was aware of this danger, but she refused to raise the question to a DG or raise the question to the government that she's serving, that are we not saying problem? But she's now saying to the youth that please do not allow what she has committed as crime, because if she has allowed such to happen, then she's now advising the same youth not to vote in a direction that is going to take Lagos away from them. Like I said, it is all lies. Nobody will be able to take our land, our ancestral land that has been around even before the colonial master or the colonial government of the British came into our territory. And Lagos has always been a very beautiful ancestral land, and it will remain the Yoruba land, not the Igbo. The Igbo do not own Lagos State, and they will not be able to take Lagos from us. But these politicians should have told us since 2006 what happened to an influential politician from Lagos State. Listen to me. An influential politician from Lagos State and a former commissioner under Colonel Olagunsoye Oyinlola Military Administration in Lagos. Let's take a look at the life history of Funsho Williams. Some Yorubas are now ready to pay back for the death of Funsho Williams, that you refuse to tell us who killed Funsho Williams and what was the reason for the killing during that time, because we know that Funsho Williams, from what we have, was also contesting to be the Lagos State governor. But as we know, in Nigeria, especially in Lagos State, we have killings that happens, especially during election. We know that some political parties or individuals do not want somebody that has a popular mandate, because Funsho Williams has the popular mandate against those that he was contesting with. And the only way you can take him out is to kill him. And eventually, Funsho Williams was killed, and may so continue to rest in peace. Let's come back. Is Funsho Williams a Lagosian? Why did we not allow a Lagosian that had the popular mandate to be given the right to govern Lagos State? Why was he killed? And since his death in 2006, let's look at the record. From 1999 till 2006, we know that Funsho Williams was also trying to contest in line with Bola Tinubu, because if you look at 2000, 2001, 2002, 2003, 2004, 2005, 2006. That is 7 years after we came back into the democracy. But somebody did not want Funsho Williams to become the governor of Lagos State. He was killed at the age of 58. Funsho Williams attended the St. Paul Catholic School at Ebute Metta and later St. Gregory's College, Lagos. In 1968, he studied at the same University of Lagos, one of the prestigious Lagos State University, attained a degree in civil engineering. He then went to attend the New Jersey Institute of Technology for his master's degree. Civil service career. Let me give you the background. From 1974, Funsho Williams returned back to Nigeria and joined the Lagos State Civil Service. He spent the next 17 years of his life working on construction projects in Lagos State. Approximately 70% of the roads and bridges were built under his stewardship. Funsho Williams was the permanent secretary by the time he left the civil service in 1991. He went into business, but he shortly returned to public service as the Lagos State Commissioner under Colonel Olagunsoye Oyinlola military administration. Now let's look at his political career. In the mid-90s, Funsho Williams decided to enter into politics in order that he could formulate policy rather than just carry it out. He first joined the United Nigerian Congress, UNCP, but after suspicious death of his leader, General Sani Abacha, he moved to the Alliance for Democracy. The same AD is what brought out Tinubu, and it seems that there is now a contest between these individuals. First and foremost, Tinubu is not from Lagos State. That is a clarity that is in the public domain. But as a Yoruba man, which he has the right, again, under the 1999 Constitution, and as a Nigerian, to live wherever he wants to live and do businesses and contest for election. And after a short time, Funsho Williams again switched parties, this time to the People's Democratic Party. He left what would have been a Yoruba party to now go into PDP. And if you remember that there was a tussle of power between AD and PDP in Lagos State, but the popular mandate, as at that time, was still going for Funsho Williams. They had won the 2003 election under the leadership of the then former President Olusegun Obasanjo. Funsho Williams had stood twice before in the Lagos State governorship gubernatorial election. At the time of his death, he was hoping to be nominated as the PDP gubernatorial candidate for Lagos State, and he had vowed to wrestle control of wealth from the same AD that Tinubu was controlling in 1999. But as we know, this is how he died. Funsho Williams, on the 27th of July 2006, Funsho Williams was found bound, strangled, and stabbed at his home in Dolphin Estate in Ikoyi, an exclusive area. It's not in Ajegunle, it's not in Surulere, not in Mushiolosha, not in Oshodi, not in Papajawo, not in Orile, My 12, not in Aguda. Funsho Williams was living in Dolphin Estate Ikoyi, an exclusive and wealthy neighborhood in Lagos State. On the 28th of July 2006, 2 people were arrested in connection with his death. We don't know how far that has gone. One was his campaign manager, and the other was a senator and a former Works of Minister, Kingsley Adeseye Ogunlewe. Ogunlewe was also hoping to be the PDP gubernatorial candidate. Williams was laid to rest at Victoria Court Cemetery in Lagos. Remember, he had a wife and 4 children. The question now is, as many Nigerians and Yorubas have forgotten that the issues that has been waiting for Lagos to be upturned has nothing to do with these Igbos are going to take Yoruba land, and that way we must now allow the Yorubas to save the APC that have destroyed the government from the federal to the state, because we know that the APC state have not done anything, and I can take you to as many of the APC states and talk about it. Ondo State governor will run to Germany for medical treatment, and this is a governor that represents APC and is representing the people of Yoruba that do not have the same access to good medical system, but he wants to save his life, but he does not want the lives of those that is governing on to be saved. Let's talk about Tinubu. Tinubu has spent more of his time taking medical treatment, and we are waiting. As the new president, we are not too sure whether he will remain in Nigeria, in Abuja, to be treated for whatever illness that he has presently. But we do know that the President Muhammadu Buhari came into power, and he has done almost the same thing by traveling to UK for his medical treatment. Yet, Nigerians or the Yorubas have literally forgotten about Funshaw Williams. Maybe that is too long for us to remember. I've just brought that back so that some of you will know that the expectation in Lagos State has been in waiting for a very long time. Yoruba land is our ancestral land. Nobody, whether they are Fulanis, whether they are Hausas, they are Kanuris, whether they are Igbos, will never take any part of Yoruba land from what is known as the Yoruba state, whether from Kwara State, Kogi State, Ondo State, Oyo State, Ekiti State, Osun State, and Lagos State itself. So please do not buy into these nonsense that the politicians are playing out. We have different candidates, like I said, for the Lagos gubernatorial election, and likewise all the other states as well. It is entirely up to the Yorubas to decide how they feel and how they want to vote on Saturday. We are not endorsing. I don't believe in it, because I don't think that your election will solve the current state of problem that we have in Nigeria. Nigeria is no longer visibly working. Nigeria is becoming a country that has used the indigenous people to allow countries around the world to use us as guinea pigs, because we have become statistics, the bad country of these, the worst country of these, and we have countries that are smaller around the world. Should Yoruba remain as an independent country, we will be able to resolve our problems internally. We'll be able to talk to ourselves. We'll be able to set up our own government, and we can take care of our people and our borders. Now, let's come back to what could also change the narratives, the NSAS. The NSAS, again, is something that maybe some Nigerians have forgotten about. The NSAS movement, after all the studies, October 8, 2020 to October 20, 2020, we saw, Nigerians, angry citizens around some of these criminals in uniform, known as the Special Anti-Robbery Squad. They are not special. They are criminals in disguise, in uniform. What they do is, they put on the Anti-Robbery Squad uniform, and they kill innocent Nigerians, whether they are Yorubas, they are Igbos, they are Hausas, they are Kanuris. It does not matter. Nigerians were killed, massacre, and their money was taken out of their bank account. All kind of different criminality was going on. Some say, no, don't let us use that to gauge this current situation right now. Let us first save the Yoruba land. Like I said, the Yoruba land is safe. That is if our kings have not sold the land to the outside world. Because you might be thinking that the land is still yours. We don't know whether the kings have sold this land. Because one of the Yoruba king was even having the guts to tell us that Lagos State does not belong. Oh my days. What an interesting time to be alive. Let's listen to this just for
Star Radio UK. Yeah. This is Star Radio UK. This is Star Radio UK.
Imagine a king in Yoruba land coming out to speak, knowing fully well that these are important people within the society, and whatever they say will be there for record purpose, telling us that Lagos does not, Lagos is not part of Yoruba land. Now they are running helter and skelter, trying to save the land itself. Imagine that a king in Yoruba land in 2023, in an interview granted to one of the media in Nigeria, telling us that we should forget about Lagos State, those of us campaigning for Yoruba nation. But one thing I can say is Nigerians have now understood, or the Yorubas rather, have probably now get the message that some of your kings have sold you out and you are only there to be used by the international community for whatever they want to use it for. Once again, Lagos State remain for the Yoruba people. We welcome those that wants to live with us, but they must respect our territory. They must respect the ancestral land. But since we still live in Nigeria, there's not much you can do than Nigerians will remain, they will have the right to live in any part of Nigeria. It is coming up to 13 minutes past 7 p.m. local time in London, 1900 hours. And my name is Olayomi Koiki, and this is Star Radio UK, Niger Voices every Wednesday. And we are looking at expectation as we broadcast around the world.
Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7. Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
I think the reason why those in Lagos are concerned, especially the politicians, let me give you the outcome of the presidential election in Lagos State in total. And that is what is changing the narrative today. Once again, a very good evening and welcome to Star Radio UK. We are seeing a new and unexpected situation in Lagos State and other states across Nigeria. And the tsunami of the Labour Party in the National Assembly, they now have 6 and also 34 House of Reps. And the worry is the tsunami would happen this weekend again across the 6 geopolitical zone. What is happening now is not about the state of origin, trade, artisan, youth, professionals, farmers, all in the same movement. There's a safety in this because you won't find a farmer in Sokoto fighting for another farmer in Lagos because they are united by one common factor, according to this article. There is a change. And this is now creating a lot of problem, especially for those in Lagos State. The politicians are concerned. We know that the Labour Party won Lagos State hands down. Once again, a very good evening and welcome to the program. As we say, Yoruba Nation is a continuity for those of us that believe in it, while those of you that still believe in one Nigeria, you also have your right to one Nigeria. Election is not a solution to the problem, but since that is what Nigerians believe in, we can only say good luck to those of you that believe in such. As I speak to you right now, the Labour Party is pushing for different things that the Labour Party requests on e-transition of governorship election result in Lagos State. And I also believe from the report coming out this afternoon that Peter Obi was in was in the court today, and let's give you some of those updates. Peter Obi attend court sitting over Beaver's case. The presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, today attended the court proceeding with his lawyers over the party's legal request to inspect the bimodal voter accreditation system known as Beavers machines and other electoral materials that was used by the Independent National Electoral Commission on the 25th February 2023 election. In a statement that he shared on his Twitter handle this morning, Peter Obi said that he had decided to cancel his campaign trips to appear in the court with his lawyers. The expectation. Also, let me remind you of an article that has just popped up again. I've seen that article from the current Oba of Lagos State, Oba Rilowan Akiolu, as we say in Yoruba land. A very good evening to all our brothers and sisters from around the globe. There is different candidates for this election. It is entirely up to you how you want to vote this coming Saturday. But let me remind you that this article that I'm about to read out to you right now was in 2013. And I want you to go along with me. No, sorry, 2017. Apology. May 3rd, 2017. Why Lagos does not belong to Yorubas? Oba Rilowan Akiolu. The Oba of Lagos, Oba Rilowan Akiolu, has claimed that Lagos State is not part of Yoruba land. Akiolu's statement is coming barely a week after he publicly humiliated the Ooni of Ife, Oba Adeyeye Ogunwusi, at an event. In a statement from Akiolu's palace, the monarch traced the historical background of the state and why it should not be regarded as part of Yoruba land. The statement reads, coming from the palace, with what I was told by my late paternal grandmother, who is a descendant of Oba Ovonrewa Ugbonwisi, also reading from the factual historical books, let me share this knowledge with you all on Eko and Lagos. Modern-day Lagos was founded by Prince Ado, the son of Oba of Benin. Prince Ado was the first Oba of Lagos, the son of Benin King. Prince Ado named the town Eko under the Portuguese explorer Roy de Segura, changed the maritime town to Lagos, which at the time from 1942 was Portuguese expedition center down the African coast. It was a major center of the slave trade until 1851. Lagos was annexed by Britain via the Lagos Treaty of Secession in 1861, ending the consular period and starting the British colonial period. The remainder of a modern-day Nigeria was seized in 1886 when the colony and the Protectorate of Nigeria was established. In 1914, Lagos was declared its capital due to the struggle of the Benin King. The Lagos experienced growth prior to the British colonial rule and even more rapid growth during the colonial rule throughout the 1960s and 70s. Continued through the 80s and the 90s till date, thanks to Aworis, Benis, Yorubas, migrants across the nation and the world at large, as no particular group of people can take the glory alone. Lagos is made up of lagoons and creeks. The Lagos Lagoon, Lagos Harbor, 5 Canwell Creeks, Ebute Metta Creeks, Port Novo Creeks, New Canal, Badagry Creeks, Kurama Water, and the Lighthouse Creeks. The Aworis and Benis are known to be the first settlers of the Eko land. The Aworis are speaker of a distinct dialect close to that of the Yoruba language with a rich Bini mixture. Traditionally, Aworis were found in Ile-Ife. They were known to be the Benis who followed their self-exiled prince, the first son of Ugiso, now called Oba of Benin Kingdom, whose stepmother was after his head. The exiled Benin prince Uzodua, known to the Yorubas as Odudua, was made ruler of Ife people due to his powers and followers from the great Benin Kingdom. Odudua was made the first king of Ile-Ife in 1230 AD. This is why we say, are we truly not looking back to where we are, who we are, and then we are saying we are Nigerians when, 1230 AD and all these numbers is nothing to some of you. His followers from his father's kingdom in Benin are today's Awori people who settled in Eko, now called Lagos. In 1300, the king of Benin Empire heard from one of his traders who was a settler in Eko on how Benin were treated by the Aworis who lived in their area. Upon hearing this, the king of Benin commanded the assembly of a war expedition led by his son Prince Ado, which headed the settlement of the Aworis and demanded explanation. On arriving in Eko, Prince Ado and his army were more than received. The Aworis asked the Benin prince to stay and become their leader. Ado agreed on the condition that they surrender their sovereignty to the Oba of Benin, to which the people agreed. Hearing this, the king of Benin gave his permission for Prince Ado and the expedition to remain in Eko. The Oba of Benin sent. So this is the article, and you can see that I've not gone back to the NSAS. Even some of our kings in the past have told us that, Yorubas, Lagos does not belong to Yorubas. Imagine this is coming from a first-class king. And these are concerned from some of us probably never knew before, but now that we know that, why should we want to save the Yoruba people in Nigeria when we can have our own straight independent country? Why Lagos does not belong to Yorubas is this article, and I'll share that for those of you that would like to read further into that. In just about few more minutes, I would open the phone line for the next an hour on the same studio line, and I say good evening to all our women and happy Women's Day. Good evening to you, Mrs. Bimbola Ayedun. It is King AY. Good evening to you. Let's quickly say good evening to those of you. Oluwa Tumishe, a very good evening to you. Ade Bayo, Isia Olukunle, good evening to you. Dizzy Man 123 say Yoruba Nation self-determination is gaining new momentum with the international community, global benefit of Yoruba self-determination, now freedom and prosperity. Omobolaji Abdullahi LP will shock them and will remove all the Oba Onijakuje out of the throne. Good evening to you, our mother Rukayat Omawumi. Good evening to you, Bamidele Mohammed. Zaki Adeni say no retreat, no surrender, Yoruba Nation, no going back. You also say, brother, morning show so amazing. There was so much energy in the morning show. Good evening to you, Karen Abiondu, Omo Odofin. Good evening, Evangelist Taiwo Esther, our mother, grandmother. Good evening to you, my brother, all the way. And also congratulations to the grandchild and to your mom, Jack Olushola. Ola Akinyemi, a very good evening to you. Sikiru Alani, good evening to you. Our mother, Olubumi Oloyede Ayilaka, good evening to you. My uncle in Paris, I don't like mentioning your name, Alaji Aremu, good evening to you, sir. Akim Adio, Razaki Amotayo, Atowoju, good evening to you. Adeni Adeyinka, good evening to you. And good evening to those of you that are also watching us on the Star Radio UK platform. I'll be giving up your name now. Good evening to our mother, Tony Akinluye, and happy Mother's Day. Happy Women's Day, I want to say. Good evening once again to my producer, Mr. Frank David and Archie. I almost forgot about you, but I appreciate the effort put in to make sure that we come live, even in the midst of almost tonight where we're having a lot of technical sound problem. Shamsuddin Oladipupo, good evening to you, and shout out to those of you in Libya. Cyprus. Good evening to each and every one of you that have joined us. My uncle Oba Yomi Famuruju. Lagos is part of Yoruba. Rubbish to say any otherwise. Yes, we must continue to tell the Igbos, that Lagos remain our ancestral land, and nobody will take that from us. I have said that without any hesitation, that we would defend that land, and if we have to fight for it, we will do so. Let me quickly wish those of you on the Mixlr as well. We know that we have a lot of listeners on that as well. Good evening to you, our 63 listeners. The number keeps growing. Allahu Baba, good evening to you. Olusegun says all this propaganda is from APC. Good evening to you as well, Comrade Plan B. Olusegun say, truth have to be told. For me, I think APC staged it because they all know people are unhappy and is going to favor the LP, which stands for the Labour Party. People should forget about propaganda taking Lagos. Good evening to you and those of you that have joined us across the globe. So we'll continue to read the comment out for those of you on the Mixlr. Keep your comment coming. Said Jimo, you say Yoruba Nation now. Michael Ade, I greet you, my good brother. I greet you as well. Omobolaji, Miss Maysgold, welcome to Niger Voices, and to all our beautiful mothers from around the world. Eunice, good evening to you. Onoki Bubule, I don't care. Akuko, that's an Igbo language. Some say that maybe it's because I have an Igbo line, that is why I'm supporting the Igbo people and all these conversation. Oh, we are getting double cameras on the screen here. I didn't realize that. Oh, okay, no, definitely not. Good evening once again. Tomorrow is the property hour with Botsman. Make sure you join him. For those of you that want to buy property in UK, that's if you have the money. I would love to hold my own property in UK, and I'm sure there's no way I can take that property with me. My uncle, a father, Kunle Shita, a very good evening to you. Okay, I think this was the last one we were doing. I'm not sure why this one is gone. So let's say good evening more to those of you. The line is open. And don't be shy. So please call in. This is where you also have opportunity. But please, when you call in, you cannot use the F word. You cannot use the swear language. This is an international platform, but you have the right to call in. Otumbade Kunle, I cannot love you less. The Oba have written an open letter to debunk the article. Okay, thank you so much for such information. Again, you see, the article that I read. Otumbade Kunle have told me now that Oba has debunked that. I've not seen such, but I will take his word for such. Continue to share the program as well to those of you that have not followed Star Radio UK. Yemi Fatoke, very good evening to you. Buji, good evening to you. Okunawa, good evening to you. Sunshine Forever, Majek, all the way in Tottenham. Good evening to you. What is the weather like in Tottenham this evening? Good evening to my beautiful mother as well. Tiami Maruf, good evening to you. Akinwale Shola. The number to call, let's give you the number quickly. The number is +44 7404405917. Olamilekon, can you change that and put the studio number out so that for those that wants to call and remove the one that you've pinned in there. Good evening to all our team that are working. T-Best Balinga, good evening to you. If you're watching me from any African countries, you might not be aware there's a tension going on right now between the Yorubas and the Igbos. A very sad situation. One of the markets in Lagos State. It's not just the Igbo that trades there, but we know that the majority of people that trade in that market are Igbo people. But we can say that the market got burnt at the early hours of this morning by those that believe that that is the only way they can attack the Igbos. Once again, the Yorubas are peace loving, they're accommodating, but they are not going to be abused and used, and they will also not allow their land to be taken away from them. So keep your comment coming. I'll be reading those comments out as well. Let us remind ourselves that the Yoruba nation is still an ongoing project. Good evening to you, Dr. Benjamin, and welcome to the program. Oloyede Okpeyemi, good evening to you. Well, these ones say he doesn't trust. I don't know who trusts her as well. All these, ERAT, as the autopilot call them. They call them ERAT. They're moving around. Different platform. Even the platform we consign them. They could come there, they put all kind of comment. All these kind of people when they travel all over the place. They're not going to sit inside their own platform. But again, this is we, you know, we love who we are. You know, we tolerate anybody to come into the platform. Daisy 123, good evening to you. Yawa Esther, good evening and welcome. Clement, good evening to you. Who is there again? Waris Jinadu, Pelu Impunity. Mary Fatele, the outcry of the Igbos now about Lagos right is means of distraction from the voting. We had listened to Fatai Oguribido, okay? Taya Day, APC government in Lagos State killed our brothers and sisters by the time of the NSAS problem in Lagos. It is time to knock them out. I think there's something they're hiding inside the Lagos State government that they don't want you to know. It's not about the Igbo taking your land. It's about the money coming into Lagos State that nobody knows how much Tinubu is making out of it. Clement, all these not a sign we are not meant to be together. And yes, definitely you're right. Ruka Adamomi, our mother. I hail each and every one on us on this platform. Welcome to our mother, Taiwo Kike, Brady Sexy, Godina House of Beauty. A very good evening to you, Asaiti, as well. Shout out to those of you watching me in the northern part of Nigeria. Shout out to those of you in Port Harcourt, in Kano, in Sokoto. Shout out to those of you in in South Africa, in Ivory Coast, Sierra Leone, Libya. Mr. Shegun says, I greet you, Mr. Koiki. Election is not my own agenda. We are only waiting for Basbos in Lagos on Saturday to tell the world Yoruba Nation is the answer. Without any Basbos, we are not going anywhere. A lot of people keep asking me what is M1. If you have not known what is M1 by now, it is too late. Until we get to M1, that is when things will become very interesting. Saeed Jima, good evening to you. And once again, Mace, good evening. So, Ruth, good evening to you. So please, if you want to join the conversation, the studio lumber, thank you so much to the backend team. Good evening and shout out to those of you in Yewa, the borderline, all the way to Idiroko Mokinyi. Good evening to our father, CSI. Good evening to Professor Adebanja Akintoye. Good evening to Iba Gani Adams. Good evening to all the kings of the Yoruba land, all the ballets. Please make sure they don't take our land from us. So, Yoruba, our Fiasikoyi àti Tusinu Èdè Tiwantiwa Èdè Yoruba, and we will do a lot of translation for the benefit of our listeners. Let's go straight to South Africa, where the caller is calling from. Please mute the background audio. We can hear you. Go ahead. You're live on the Naija Voices on Star Radio UK.
Hello.
I'm going. Go ahead. We can hear you. Okay. Ọmọ ká má máa bọ́ bàbá wa.
Okay, mo sorry láti sọ ṣùgbọ́n gẹ́gẹ́ bí èmi bí mo ṣe rí.
Ó yé mi.
Àgbà tó bá ti fẹ́ jogún kókó ló máa ń pa ìtàn títàn.
Àgbọ́yé.
Because Èkó is for Yorùbá. Why èèyàn máa ń mú ìdí tí ò yẹ.
Okay.
Ó ga ọ̀rọ̀ wa nílùú Nàìjíríà yìí.
So kí ni expectation tẹ̀yin fún Saturday ní election tí wọ́n fẹ́ ṣe yìí? Kí ni expectation yín?
Ọbẹ̀ tí èmi ò rí nǹkan kan nínú election o.
Ẹ rí nǹkan kan níbẹ̀? Kò lè solve problem.
Election yẹn kò lè solve any problem.
Okay.
Wà ní Nàìjíríà. Yorùbá nation forever.
Kí lẹ wá rí sí àwọn terrorists tí wọ́n tún gbórí padà síta? 50 people kidnapped, 6 dead in Niger State. Ó ti lọ́lẹ̀ lẹ́nujọ́ mẹ́ta yìí. Ó tún padà sókè àti 1,250 Boko Haram àti ISWAP wọ́n náà wọ́n surrender fún federal government military.
Nǹkan tí mi rí sí ọ̀rọ̀ àwọn ìyẹn ni pé bébí ṣe ń wo àwọn yẹn pàdé gẹ́gẹ́ bí ọ̀rọ̀ Fẹlá lè lérí sí wọ́n máa kóra wọn wá wọn tó kóra wọn lọ wọn tó kóra wọn sí military. Ọ̀gbọ́n ẹgbẹ́ kan fi ń sọ nípa ti ọba lásán ni àwọn ọ̀rọ̀ táwọn ọba wa ń sọ káàkiri ló jẹ́ tèmi kan dá sí.
Ọ̀dà ẹ ṣé gan ni. Boko Haram yẹn.
Boko Haram ni àwọn tó sọ pẹ̀lú ara wa tábà ti pa Nàìjíríà nation.
Ẹ ṣé gan ni. Ọ̀dà ẹ ṣé gan ni bàbá wa. Ẹ ṣé gan ni. Ètò nìyẹn. Alọ bẹ́ẹ̀ mú kí Azeez Gbadéṣeré gbọ́n mi dáadáa ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ètò ní Miami. This is Naija Voices. Good evening to the Koiki Media team that have joined us as well, the sister broadcast. Baba Akinwale Shola Mukiyawa Olubukola Beni. Hello caller, ẹ ti wà lórí Naija Voices lórí ètò Star Radio UK níjọ́ Wednesday ló wá sáyé ẹgbọ́n sókè.
Ló Mr. Koiki.
I'm going sir.
Ẹ kó ètò ẹ̀kọ́ alálẹ̀.
Ètò ni ẹ sà. Àmín.
The last man standing, you deserve 3 posts.
Ẹ ṣé gan ni sir.
Ṣé ìgbọ́dọ̀ gbẹ̀gbẹ̀ sọ fún wa ní wípé ẹ má misquote it's my own personal opinion.
Any gbogbo right yẹn wàláì even if what your view is going to disagree with mine ẹ má worry nípa ẹ̀. That is what is called freedom of speech on this platform.
Due to nǹkan tí mo wí because ọmọ Yorùbá ni mí.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni sir.
Yorùbá dẹ̀ ni mí.
Okay.
Àná Yorùbá ni mí.
Okay.
Mi ò ní party.
Okay.
Mi ò ní politician.
Àgbọ́yé.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ sí nǹkan tí mò ń rí lọ́dún ló sì.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni.
Mo wo arise, mo wo gbogbo channel
Okay.
lórí Yorùbá ètò Yorùbá jẹ̀bi lógún.
Yeah.
Wọ́n jẹ́ ká mọ̀ wípé Tinubu ti fi wá negotiate. Ẹ lọ wò lórí arise, lórí TV another Nigeria channel.
Ẹ bá wa nígbà táyìn tí wò ẹ bá wa ṣì wò ká gbọ́ dáadáa Tinubu ti fi wá negotiate níbi ibi tí báwo.
Wípé wọ́n máa fún un l'Àbújá, òun dẹ̀ máa fi kúnlẹ̀ fún wọn.
Àwọn olúwafẹ́fẹ́ kò lẹ̀ fún.
Àwọn tó láyé mi, èmi ò ló wá di orò tó lò kéńké.
Ayé tẹ tún pè lágbára o.
Àwọn tó nẹ́tíwọ́ọ̀kì Nàìjíríà ló ní by using that ayé.
Ó ti yé ó yé mi bẹ ṣe sọ lẹ́yìn àyà mi já ni ẹ̀wọ̀n kí ẹ bá gbá yé. Everyone is American joystick, okay.
Joyesi.
Ó yé.
Ó ti fi wá negotiate pé okay Èkó ní problem yìí. Mo fẹ́ gbà Àbújá yẹ bóyá máa fún ilé.
Okay.
So, nǹkan fẹ́ sọ with my expression ni wípé Mr. Koiki tí n bá parọ́ mi ń parọ́ láyé mi.
Ó yé mi sà.
Torí pé mo bí lórí irọ́. Torí pé I'm a Muslim to the ball.
Okay.
I can quote Bible. Bible sọ wípé òtítọ́ dogun ayérayé. Tí n bá parọ́ kọ́lọ̀ máa yẹ kí n dọ̀lá tọ̀sí. Kọ́lọ̀ máa yẹ kí n dọ̀lá tọ̀ my liquid. So, to back up my point, ṣé ẹ get me sìn?
À ń gbọ́ yín sà.
Ṣé ẹ rí gbogbo nǹkan tó ṣẹlẹ̀ lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ yẹn?
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni.
Tinubu ló fẹ́ gbà wá fully for negotiation.
So ṣé àwa gbọ́dọ̀ gbà fún báyìí ni ẹ fẹ́ mú jáde nínú ọ̀rọ̀ yìí àbí báwo?
A gbọ́dọ̀ gbà kí ẹni ọ̀dà ẹ̀sìn kó mú ilé Èkó tí ó bá ti ń ṣe ọmọ Yorùbá.
Okay.
Jákẹ́tà gbọ́dọ̀.
Ó ti yé mi.
That is to say, mo wo show Dr. Aliu lóru mọ́jú yìí. Dr. Aliu jẹ́ ká mọ̀ wípé láti 1953 làwọn ẹ̀yà Ìgbò ti fẹ́ gba Èkó lọ́wọ́ wa lọ́wọ́ bàbá Awólọ́wọ̀.
Kò tẹ̀ sáwọn nìkan òyìnbó kan fẹ́ gbà bọ́n yín lọ́wọ́ so gbogbo yẹn kò ń ṣe new thing.
náà ẹ̀ka òyìnbó lẹ̀ slave master ni wọ́n.
Okay. Ká fi wọ́n sílẹ̀. Àwọn lọ́jà ká pẹ́ síta báyìí wàláì. Ẹ bá ní ká máa fa àwọn yẹn sílẹ̀.
Ẹ̀ka fa àwọn yẹn sílẹ̀.
Okay.
Àṣìkò àbá wọn. Nínú àwọn ara wa ẹ mọ̀ pé máa ń sọ ipò tí rúgbó bọ̀. Ó rúgbó bọ̀ nílé. Àdára wa ló máa ti rúgbó bọ̀. So now Dr. Aliu jẹ́ ká mọ̀ pé 1953 Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe ó ti mú yàn jáde ní Eastern Regional Zone.
Okay.
Ó máa jáde. As their prime minister. Ó dẹ̀ tún wá dúró ti Awólọ́wọ̀ lọ́rùn lẹ́kọ̀ọ́. Awólọ́wọ̀ wá lo intelligence ẹ̀ fún wípé look tó bá máa dúró tì mí lọ́rùn lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ yìí o now I will ask for self-determination. Ìyẹn ló jẹ́ kí Nnamdi Azikiwe kó withdraw fún.
Okay, ṣé rí gbogbo àwọn ìtàn tán máa ń gbé jáde ṣé èmi àti ṣé Dr. Aliu nìkan ló mọ̀ àwọn politicians wọ̀ mọ̀ gbogbo àwọn ìtàn yìí àbí? So kí ló dé tí wọ́n ṣiṣẹ́ lé lórí látijọ́ yìí kí ló jẹ́ nísìn?
Ìtorí pọ́lẹ̀ ni wọ́n olórí hip hop kan tó kọrin ni ó ní olè máa lẹ́fìrìbọ́dì o. Olè ni wọ́n.
Okay.
Ẹnì mọ̀ pé Yorùbá ni mí Yorùbá jẹ mí lọ́kàn mo tún lọ wo interview bàbá bọ̀bọ̀ Gbádébọ̀ yẹn ní orí àláì from 3 hours ago live.
Okay, so any suru, so could see another political party, even though we are not endorsing them. There's another political party. I'm sure there's PDP, and I'm sure there will be some other. I'm at the contest. Ever me check out. Is it just the 3 that are contesting in Lagos? Do we only have 3 candidates in Lagos State? Can somebody check out? Do we only have 3 candidates in Lagos State? Yeah.
According to Yama, only Nigeria do answer the silly question with silly question.
Okay.
So, Emi on Kyoloshe, Emi Aseyo Komo Kyolon, Tiba Parokolo Mike to last Thursday, Yoruba Nation.
Okay.
The court.
Yeah.
Takataye people fún àwọn tó ti ní ẹ̀yà tó fẹ́ gbà wá lọ́wọ́ kakú kí wọ́n dìbò fún APC kọ́ lọ dìbò fún PDP lójú ọmọ Yorùbá jákèjì.
All right. Well, the views have been heard. That views have been heard, and you have already said it clearly. Call the for PDP, and that is your view. We cannot take that away. That's more than enough. Eshegoni, Bomi, thank you so much. And again, you see, we don't have to agree all our views in one basket. Some of you still want election to go ahead, but not in favor of one particular sector, while some say that is not. Go ahead quickly, and welcome to Niger Voices.
The only option that we have right now, only pay both parties, let all the people in Lagos State, in all your balance, no election. If we can do that, no election.
Thank you. Welcome, Just Reason. No election. Okay. Okay. This is another angle. No election. So, and you're telling me, can you to vote? So, okay. I need to be no order. No election in Yoruba land.
You can do that.
Okay. Order. No election.
We don't want Nigeria again.
Okay. No election in Yoruba land. Order. Eshegoni Babawa. No election. The last caller Nikwe call us PDP. So we're taking the note of this. PDP need the last person here endorse. Okay. Eshegoni Babawa.
Let them know we are serious. We are serious about this thing. No election in Yoruba land.
Eshegoni, thank you so much. Thank you. Let's stand on it. Your point has been raised and has been taken. Waris did not do Koiki. Cheese checkmate on Britico. The bigger fish. Fishermen always talk about the big fish that escaped after all the catches. Rashid Zabili, why everything is God? Well, we love God now. Just reason say, I love that important question. What our expectation on this election? The line is open now. We have about another 40 minutes on Niger Voices, and when we switch over to the next broadcast, we'll probably have another few more hours. So let's get your views. I've seen a lot of campaign moving quickly from each of these political parties on ground. The reason why we are talking about Lagos State out of all the other states, not that the other states are not having election as well. Lagos is important to me. Lagos is important to the Yoruba people. It's our ancestral land, and we must make sure we save it. Agree. No election on Saturday, 11th of March. Is that your view as well? The number has been out there. Let us get your views on that as well. This is Niger Voices on Star Radio UK on the network waves here from UK. And like I always say, the best way to listen to us is not just on the social media. You can download the apps of Star Radio UK, but let us go and listen to these. And when we come back again, we continue with the conversation.
Star Radio UK. This is 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 Star Radio UK.
Well, we have a new caller that is coming through again. Robin again. Oh, yeah, under 1 minute. I've finished enough time. Yeah. It's okay. Okay. Oh, yeah, me. Okay. Should we say that in the last, Latin 1999, the PDP has been playing the same card by deceiving the Yorubas? I want contest, Pelu. I want to one in Lagos State. But behind the scene, there's something that is going on, and the push is not literally there.
Yes.
Because Jimmy Agbaje has been contesting, but it doesn't seem that the drive of winning that election, Yoruba Nation. It looks like every 4 years, could there be an arrangement between the PDP and the APC? But this time around, because the Labour Party is putting out, and there's now a concern that the Yorubas are saying, look, Kakaki, Adibo APC, Adibo PDP, or the youth that are saying, no, at the immediate criminal, we're going to let you go. So what do you say to that before we let you go?
God bless you, sir. Sharing Agbaje, alone everybody.
Okay. So are we now seeing a new breed of PDP like Jandor and Funke Akindele? Like I said, these are their own candidate that they have now, and it's difficult to buy them in from what we have seen from Jimmy Agbaje, because I don't have the evidence, but I looked at Jimmy Agbaje as somebody that just comes in every 4 years, and he goes, and 4 years he comes back. Okay. All right. So, okay. Okay.
Instead of labor.
Okay. 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 Well, like I said, we've got that message, and again, we appreciate your call, Eshegoni. I'm going to let you go so that we can get as many calls in as well. Just raising, yes, I always have my pen. Very, very important. Let's go to Dublin, where the next caller is coming from. Otobade Kunle, so many Yoruba didn't vote in the presidential election. No election is spreading in Yoruba land, and you're quite right. I want to vote. They are not up to 3 million. Hello, caller. Mokinyawa Comfort Niki Ekabo Sorieto Adekunle Rosulu Abiodun Ogunleti Ekabo Sorieto Lori Naija Voices 4725 Henry. You don't see Igbowo. Hello, caller. You're live. Okay.
No election Yoruba land and no matter how few they are,
what a lawyer say we not going to dibo. We know that already. Yeah.
Now let me
even those that are campaigning for the Biafra, people still went out and voted in Biafra land, even as much as they say there's a lockdown. So there's no way, even in Yoruba land, that there's no seat at home, people will go out and vote. And we saw that in Ekiti or Yo and the rest. Go ahead, we can hear you.
Now my question, and it don't sort last.
Yes.
Also, we can't deal for more Yoruba.
Okay. Okay, again, this is the argument, and I believe, maybe we should, as much as we are not trying to bring a narrative on the program, Sheikh Badebo, Enisuru, Sheikh Omo Yoruba ni Badebo, or not? I want to read that in the comment section, and that will help us to, to clarify. Shomo Yorubani, we know that he has a, Igbo lineage, or Igbo lineage, which is, I believe, the mother, but she authentic Omo Yorubani Gbadebo, Abi, half Yoruba, half Igbo. And how do we identify somebody as a real authentic Yoruba man? How do we say somebody is a real Yoruba woman? Is it when they have two parents that are Yorubas? Does that mean that awati amowa bimo fun awon oyinbo ni bibai, they are half Nigerians and half British? Does that mean that they cannot contest for position in this country in the long run? Does that mean that they will be restricted? Are we concerned? Hello, caller.
If they restrict our children here,
okay.
torí pé wọ́n fẹ́ òyìnbó, táwọn ọmọ ẹ̀ bá tún dé Nàìjíríà tó dé ilẹ̀ Yorùbá, tí ilẹ̀ Yorùbá náà tún nínú bàbá ẹ̀ ó ní ọmọ Yorùbá, ìyá ẹ̀ òyìnbó ni, so àwọn ọmọ tí ò ṣẹ̀, tí ò mọ anything, torí ignorance àwọn kan, wọ́n lose níbí, wọ́n lose lọ́hùn yẹn.
Okay.
That is my question. Okay. So I want you to tell me, where is this boy from?
Okay.
I will begin to listen.
Okay. What? People have already said that he's half Igbo, half Yoruba, and that means he's not a full-blood Yoruba, and is also, his words and action.
There's nothing like full or half.
Okay.
Is he a Yoruba or not a Yoruba?
Well, I mean, people say it's half because it's both side, so it's not full. so one full. Again, born in Lagos but can't speak Yoruba language is not a full Yoruba. Simple. Among the Yoruba land liberation enemies are full-blooded, half-blooded, and non-blooded Yoruba. Self-interest. Do we also say that Tinubu, that is a full-blooded Yoruba, will be able to rescue the Yoruba, or is also have sold us, like the caller previously, not this one, said? I don't have evidence to that. But his mother is an Igbo woman, not Oyinbo, please, caller. No. The caller is talking about those of our children here in UK, because a lot of our children are now also marrying an Oyinbo, and I don't know how they're going to have to work in the near future. If we come back and say, tí wọ́n fẹ́ Oyinbo náà, tí wọ́n bá accept wọn níbí báyìí, ṣá máa accept wọn ní the other side. So it's something to debate. Hello, caller. I want to hear.
Yeah, I want to speak about Gbadebo.
Ẹ ti wọlé, à ń gbọ́ yín.
So àwọn Yorùbá kan tó ń sọ pé Gbadebo kì í ṣe ọmọ Yorùbá, wọ́n ti jẹ́ kí politician kó ọpọlọ wọn kó.
Bitibawo.
Ọpọlọ ewúrẹ́ sí.
Bitibawo.
Because tí bí ẹyẹ kì í ṣàlàyé fún yín, bí àwọn aṣọ alábroad náà yìí sìn, majority of Yorùbás wọ́n marry non-Yorùbá people as ọkùnrin máa pẹ́ òyìnbó from anywhere or other tribe. Tí ẹ bá gbọ́ pé wọ́n Yorùbá náà pé from a sample pé wọ́n Yorùbá náà pé àwọn Yorùbá become prime minister of UK, where bí ọ̀bọ̀n agency tó jẹ́ orúkọ Yorùbá Gbadebo. Tó bá gbọ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ àwọn èèyàn abẹ́sẹ̀ ń pariwo bá Yorùbá tó di wọ́, Yorùbá tó di wọ́, Yorùbá tó di wọ́. Àwọn ọmọdé ní kí ẹ láti check pé ibo nìyẹn ti wá. Tó bá tẹ̀ wọ́n pé yẹ gan Igbo ni ọbí kan ní wọn ní bí ọmọ wa ni máa pariwo. So àwọn èèyàn wọn àjọ allow politician láti lo brain wọn, láti lo ethnicity láti da brain wọn rú. Okay, for the future purpose, tá a bá ní àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá tí ẹlòmíì bí fún wa gẹ́gẹ́ bí ọkùnrin ní Yorùbá tó ní nǹkan ńlá tó yẹ kó jẹ sílẹ̀ Yorùbá, irú eléyìí tó bá dọjọ́ wájú tó bá wò pé àwọn ẹni tó wá nígbà kan tó yẹ pé Yorùbá ní bàbá ẹni tó gbé yẹ jẹ́ Igbo, àwọn ọmọ ẹ fẹ́ ṣe báyìí ọ̀hún àgbà láàyè nísìn kó mo lọ ṣe kíní sílẹ̀ Yorùbá òun á lọ ṣe sílẹ̀ bòmí because àwọn people yìí wọn appreciate pé àwọn miss blood. Bẹ́ẹ̀ láti ló sọ yẹn, ṣé wọ́n gbàgbé pé ọba nílẹ̀ Yorùbá Olúwọ̀fùwò ó lọ fẹ́ Fúlàní? Ṣé wọ́n mọ̀ pé Akérèdọ́lù ìyàwó ẹ̀ Igbo ni? Ṣé kìí ṣe ọmọ ẹ̀ ní dìyàn lọ́la? Even Tinubu tó ń sọ ẹ̀gbọ́n ṣe yí ọmọ ẹ̀ Igbo ló fẹ́, ṣé ìyẹn kìí ṣe miss blood?
Okay, ẹ jẹ́ ń béèrè kan tí Ṣèyí Tinubu tó bá di after tí gọ́fìnà lè bá ṣe tán tó bá fi pé Ṣèyí Tinubu ni kọ́ lò, báwo ló ṣe máa play out tí Ṣèyí Tinubu bá fi di gọ́fìnà Lagos State?
Ṣé
ṣèyí Tinubu tó pé òyìnbó ló lọ fẹ́ àwọn òfẹ́ kí Ìgbò wá jẹ́ first leader àwọn àmọ́ kò hard up àwọn tó wà ní western lẹ́mọ̀ irú UK prime minister ń sìn ṣé ṣọmọ Yorùbá ni àbí ṣọmọ yóò ọmọ British ni no dókòwò wọn pé wọn sílé wọn ti dọmọ ìlú yìí mọ̀ wọ́n ṣe wọ́n qualify láti di prime minister wọ́n dé gbà láyé.
But is it because there's an hidden agenda that has been playing out? Because it's up with Dr. Aliu Sokonkon in 1953 and all that, is that is?
Àṣẹ́rí gbogbo yẹn nonsense story ni nípa fún yín. Báwo ni mo ṣe máa jọmọ Yorùbá tí màá fẹ́ lómi tá bímọ fún mi tọmọ ẹni wàá ṣe dáadáa tó ní òfin àwa sílẹ̀ bàbá òun láti ṣe nǹkan àwọn kan sọ pé it's not full blooded kí ló ń jẹ́ full blooded Yorùbá? Tí àwọn tó jẹ́ blue blooded Yorùbá tó ń jẹ́ agbèrò lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ tó ń nú àwọn èèyàn ṣeré ṣáwọn ènìyàn. I don't get it. Pé ọjọ́ wo làwa Yorùbá did this very useless thing this is pé àkẹ́mọ̀ àjà wọn jà tó make sense torí pé police àti ó ti ta bẹ́ẹ̀ wá rú. Even some Yorùbá nation people wọ́n máa ń kàtà wọn ní social media bá abẹ́jáwèrè níkẹ́. Okay, a máa ní ọmọ tí wọ́n bí sí abroad tó jẹ́ ọmọ Yorùbá ọ̀ tó jẹ́ ọmọ Nàìjíríà ìyá ẹ̀ òyìnbó ni bàbá ẹ̀ dúdú ni but tó máa choose kó máa lọ bá bọ̀ fún Nàìjíríà ìlú bàbá tòun. Ṣé kò yẹ aṣètò kèé sẹ́gun bá bọ̀ fún lóyìnbó wà lọ bá fún ìlú bàbá tòun wọ́n ṣe lé padà pé you are not a full blooded Nigeria. Because mo nígbà ní 1992 wọ́n bọ́ Ruben Agbola bàbá ẹ̀ Yorùbá ni ìyá ẹ̀ òyìnbó ni but Agbola tó jẹ́ ẹ̀ ti fi hàn pé ọmọ Yorùbá ni. Ọkùnrin ló ní ọmọ nílẹ̀ Yorùbá ọkùnrin òun ló ní ọmọ bó ṣe wà nìyẹn. Àwọn èèyàn wá dé ti pé ọmọ yẹn tí bàbá ẹ̀ jẹ́ Lagosian. Ìdẹ́gbẹ́tẹ̀ náà tó wá kí òkè ní ìlú wọn kì í ṣe fọmọ Èkó àwọn ará Èkìtì àwọn ará Òṣù àwọn Ìrágbèjì àwọn èèyàn jákèjádò ìtàwọn no intellectual ọkẹ́ wàá dé wọn pé ọmọ yẹn. Kò yẹ kí máa ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ náà ó gbọ́ fún àwọn bíbí nínú gbọ́dọ̀ pé ṣé a máa tàwọn èèyàn wá dànù nítorí politics ni.
Okay, àwọn tó wá sọ pé Lagos must be governed by a full indigene, not this, both sides.
No, as far as we are seeing Nigeria, there's nowhere in the constitution say one place must be governed by
so now you are going back again to the constitution of Nigeria, and that is something that okay.
Yes, so there is no bá ṣe wà ní UK yìí sì ṣebí Kẹ́mi Kọ́nọ̀k ọmọ wa ni ebi prime oní foreign minister ní UK wọn ṣe létà ló pé kì í ṣe ibà kan lọ bí sí agbórí wá tiẹ̀ yìí gan ṣé láwọn èèyàn wá yìí ni agronism yìí ti torí àwọn èèyàn wá rúgan tó bí honest ó máa ń bí mi nílá.
ẹ jẹ́ ká fẹ́ lómi láàyè ẹ ṣé gan ni torí àsìkò ni thank you so much ẹ ṣé gan ni your views have been heard let's take more calls. Coming through. I know again this is about me background. Etiwale.
Hello.
I'm going here. Go ahead.
Okay. Mr. Koiki. Àwọn èèyàn wa wọ́n máa ń gbọ́rọ̀ Gbádébọ̀ and Lagos and kò mọ̀ pé mi ṣì máa pè máa dá sí. Àwọn èèyàn wa máa ń sọ̀rọ̀ out of context. They always talk out of context. All of gbogbo story wọ́n máa dàpọ̀. Kí ló dé tí wọ́n béèrè lọ́wọ́ ara wọn pé kí ló fa nǹkan tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ yìí? Ṣé báwa náà la dà àwọn náà tó dìbò fún Obi? Is Obi not a full-fledged Igbo man? For him to go to the federal láti rule lórí gbogbo wa. Kí ló fa nǹkan tí àwọn ará Èkó fìdí táwọn èèyàn fi dìde pé ẹ má dìbò fún Gbádébọ̀? If you want to be a governor of a state, wọ́n á tiẹ̀ mọ culture state yẹn. Wàá ní loyalty. Your disposition will show it. It's okay for anybody to come up and say, I'm a Yoruba man, I'm this. Ṣé Yorùbá ever sọ pé kí ọmọ tí ìyá ẹ̀ òbí ẹ̀ bá jẹ́ Yorùbá kó má ever ṣe nǹkan rere nílẹ̀ Yorùbá ni? You do not ask why are people ranting nígbà tí wọ́n ṣe ìbò tán? Did you see the rally? Did you hear the rant? Ṣé àwọn ọmọ Igbo rant? Àwọn tó ti mọ̀ pé nǹkan bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn kí ló dé tí ọpọlọ tí wọn ò pé káwọn má sọ ọ̀rọ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ láti infiltrate àwọn indigenes of that state. Nǹkan tó jẹ́ kí àwọn èèyàn dìde kó bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní pariwo nìyẹn, and I've listened to 2 or 3 interviews tí bọ̀bọ̀ ìṣe ó pọ́ ní àwọn bíi méjì àwọn nǹkan tó bá ń gbọ́ ọgbọ́n tí àwọn politicians máa ń gbọ́ kò ní sọ àwọn kankan síta. Do you understand me? Èèyàn kan bí pé Yorùbá will be lingua franca of Lagos said no, I won't allow that. Go and listen now. Mo tún ní pé kìíní kan mo ti wà pé nǹkan tó bí sí he was talking against the people of Lagos State. Historically, Yoruba ló ní Lagos State. Bianca Ono, Anambra ni ọkọ ẹ̀, ó dìde, ó fẹ́ lọ dìbò fún Senate. Àwọn ará Anambra, àwọn ará ilé ọkọ ẹ̀ kò gbà, wọ́n ní kó lọ sí state ẹ̀. Àwọn ọmọ Igbo nǹkan tí wọn ò ní gbà, because you need to study these people. Why? They are, even if you look at their meeting now, we must capture Lagos, we must capture Lagos. What's the meaning of that? Àwọn Yorùbá kò dẹ̀ ṣì níbi dé pé okay, tábà gba Yorùbá nation tó ṣàtúnfẹ́ máa jà gba state wa padà lọ́wọ́ Igbo. The GDP tí Èkó tó ń fún wa, òun náà ni àwọn Yorùbá ní yòókù náà ń rely on and the other federation. What we are thinking, people that are saying, it's because what they have seen the Igbos talking, saying. It's not because of Badebo. It's not because of him. Okay. And that one done. Bí àwọn Yorùbá ṣe máa careless, ṣe máa ṣe rádaràda tí wọ́n ní self-preservation with.
Okay, let me ask this question. See, this government change to whatever is going to change to, because expectation is high. I'm not putting my faith in whatever is going to happen, but for argument's sake, should the Labour Party win this election in Lagos State, and we are still in Nigeria, does that not say that the next 4 years, the Yorubas should start thinking of bringing in something to take it out? Does it mean that if Badebo becomes the governor of Lagos State, does that give the full ownership out of Lagos to the Igbos? That's number one question. Does that mean that, should we remain in Nigeria because the politicians are praying that Nigeria continue, as much as we don't want Nigeria to continue? But should Nigeria continue after the 4 years of the Labour Party candidate? Does that mean that even if a new election comes and Badebo is on turn and the new person comes back in, what would that have done into the the situation of the ancestral land? Kilomati Shele. Within 4 years, the Badebo might destroy. No. He said within 4 years, the Badebo might destroy the Yoruba land and give it to the Igbo. Or after 4 years, can the Yoruba still say, okay, we then unturn it back if we are still in Nigeria in the next 8 years?
Okay. May we not be in Nigeria in the next 8 years?
So if we are, may we not be in Nigeria? So if we are not in okay, so
Nigeria in 8 years, our Yoruba are near agenda me to pay. We are Nigerians. I'm not talking as a Yoruba, it's a Nigeria. No, I will put the Yoruba nation aside now just to answer your question.
Yeah.
Our Kimani agenda. Some people won't try to yoke agenda. Number one, my people already they are being impoverished. Do you understand me? They are crying. We never can know. It might be good and it might be wrong. But my own be said, they have no right to be telling us Lagos is no man's land. And they have no right. But one thing must story that we say or whatever. So monk Oba Alimi fẹ́ ṣe ní Ìlọrin nígbà tó gbé kìíní ẹ̀fọ́ ṣe bó gbé fún bí ọ̀rẹ́ náà ni pé you too can do this.
All right, okay, that has not really answered the question that I've asked. Maybe I should rephrase the question again. Badebo becomes the governor of Lagos State. He has only 4 years, right?
Okay.
In 4 years, would he be able to unturn that ancestral land away from us? Should we remain in Nigeria? Okay. Can that still be unturned with another election to take him out? And then it will stop this agenda that a lot of people have right now, because it seems that it is because of this agenda, perfect ballet. Should he become the governor, can he turn the land in 4 years if we remain in Nigeria? But if we are not in Nigeria, definitely that will put an automatically full stop to such an ambition. But if we're in Nigeria, can he?
If we after 4 years, if we I don't want to preempt what he's going to do. But Toba decide to go the fear of the people. So nation, you have another war to contend with. That is my own point.
Yeah, but the Yoruba nation is not just for Lagos State alone. We are fighting
another war to contend with.
No. We are fighting the whole Yoruba land. We are not talking about Lagos State now. By the time the Nigeria collapse, it will definitely collapse, Lagos State included. So Lagos is not going to be exempted.
Igbo part of your kings are saying Lagos is not part of Yoruba land.
Yeah,
Lagos is not part of Yoruba land.
So okay, would that stop a Yoruba nation? Okay, agreed. Well, none of them have developed Yoruba land since 1999. Would that you've not been able to answer the question properly? So the answer I'm looking for has not actually come true. Gbadebo will not be able to.
It might not do that. It might not even have the time to do evil.
Okay, so if he's not going to, so if he doesn't have that, that evil intention in 4 years, so why are we now pushing this narrative out at this particular time?
I'm not saying he doesn't have evil to do evil in 4 years. He might not be able to do it enough to harm us in 4 years.
Yes.
But why? That is the way we lost Benin.
Right.
We lost Ilorin. And we're going to lose so many places because we are too lackadaisical, complacent, frivolous. I don't even know the word to describe the Yoruba people.
All right. Well, this is the fault of the politician. All right, Eshegoni, thank you so much. Let's allow another person to call. And this is the problem that the politicians have entrapped us into, and we are not to be blamed for that. The politicians in Yoruba land should be fully responsible for what is playing out right now. A very good evening and welcome. Can Gbadebo sell our land to the Igbos in 4 years? Should we remain in Nigeria? Can we take it back after the next election if we are still in Nigeria? There's a lot of noise at the background. We can hear you. Go ahead.
Hello, Ekale. Lagos State.
Good evening, Mas B. Welcome to the program.
Yoruba nation la ń jà fún. Kí wá ní Yoruba nation yẹn? Lagos State wà bẹ́ẹ̀. Ta la fẹ́ kókó tó tiẹ̀ máa rúùlù bẹ̀ náà? Ṣé ọmọ wa ni ọmọ wa la fẹ́? Ṣé ọmọ yẹn ń sínwín? Eléyìí kí wọ́n gbé fún wa ní. Ó ń sínwín bọ̀ ọmọ wa la sì fẹ́ bẹ̀. Gbadebo tẹ̀ ń sọ, bàbá mi. Àwa Yorùbá à ń gbàgbàkúgbà. Ìwé kàdẹ̀ka ló báyé wa jẹ́. Ẹlẹ́gbọ̀n báwo ta bá ń ṣe báyìí nílẹ̀ Yorùbá? Báwo la ṣe protect àwọn ọmọ wa tó wà ní ilẹ̀ Haúsá àti ilẹ̀ Ìgbò? Nígbà tá bá gba èèyàn tí jẹ́ pé ìyẹ́ Yorùbá bàbá Ìgbò ìyẹ́ Ìgbò bàbá Yorùbá tá bá ń gbà wọ́n láyè bẹ́ẹ̀ kí ni agenda wọn? Ṣé wọ́n mọ culture Èkó? Tá bá ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣẹ́rí ó yẹ ká máa wo nǹkan tá fẹ́ gbélé tóyìnbó bá ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ kọ́ àwọn ọmọ wa tàbí ń bí nǹkan ni wọ́n máa ń lò fún military fún terrorists láti bàlú wa jẹ́ ni ṣùgbọ́n àwọn ọmọ wa náà ni fún 2 NGOs ẹ ṣe jẹ́ ká lálẹ̀ pé no kó bá bí ọmọ pẹ̀lú àlejò o ò lè dé àwọn position kankan no.
But is that okay? Then, hold on. Is that possible in the? Hold on. Let's hold on. All this you're saying now, is this possible in the Nigeria with the constitution? So if it's not possible, so how do you change this narrative if it's not possible?
True voting educate our ọmọ because of the lack of history tí wọn ọjọ́ mọ̀. Ẹlẹ́gbọ̀n ṣé wọn rí Gbadebo nígbà táwọn Biafra ṣe gbogbo protest ni culture Èkó wo ló mọ̀ ẹlẹ́gbọ̀n culture Èkó wo ló mọ̀.
All right, that is again your view. Let's take another call.
The devil we know is better than the
devil we know. Okay, all right, thank you so much. We're gonna let another person to call in. I'm gonna let you go because of the time constraint. Let's get somebody in when we're on our own timeline, then you can have more time. I'm working with time here. I end this program at 8:30, and I wanted to get as many calls. Go ahead, straight to the point.
Hello.
A mute background. You're live. Yeah. Welcome to the program. You're live. Go ahead. I'm going.
Sherry. Nǹkan tó fa number one ṣe ráwọn tó tiẹ̀ sí kọ́kọ́ ń pè wọlé tó ń fi style máa bú Yorùbá wọ̀nyẹn ẹ máa bá wa sọ fún wọn wọ́n máa wá síbi tó bá jẹ́ Igbo wọ́n gbọ́ Yorùbá. If you are an Igbo person you are listening to me with all love but don't because you are fluent in Yorùbá and be insulting my race indirectly.
Okay.
Because I'm taking my time to listen to a couple of people. They were fluent in Yoruba. And they were even insulting Yoruba while talking to you tonight. So please, I'm begging you, if you are listening to me, please, Ejo, respect Arawa. The food you will not accept, don't offer somebody else. Please, don't do. If you do that, your conscience will tell you you are doing something wrong. So I'm really want to go strong on that one.
Okay.
Hey,
Mama, do you know Elizabeth?
If I'm allowed in any part of Igbo land, if I do more than myself, Baba.
Yeah. Okay.
What brought us together is the Constitution, and what is bringing us together now is Yoruba Nation and Biafra that everybody is dragging. So when we work together, not somebody calling another person's space. No man's land is an abuse. It's not just an ordinary statement. It is a slap on the ancestors of those people. How many kilometers, how many miles and Igbo mile we cover in Yoruba land before you reside in Lagos? We don't need to clarify anything to anybody about Lagos. When we are done with Yoruba Nation, then living in Lagos, we live under our terms and conditions.
Okay.
We don't need to drag anything with anybody right now. So please, but if you have been accepted peacefully in Yoruba land, we embrace you, we love you. Let it be like that. Let us be loving one another the way we are going about it.
Let me ask a question.
Yes.
What has been our political our politicians, our representatives in Yoruba land to protect us to get to this stage that it is now spilling out? Because I believe they could have done more, but I just want to get your own understanding, because I don't think we should have arrived to this point if they've done a lot since 1999, or probably maybe we are just here talking about it. Why the same politicians behind the scene, we don't even know what they're doing with some of these Igbos that we're talking about?
Well, thank you very much for the answer, for your question. So basically, I will go very easy on your question. Majority of our politicians, they have failed us, the Yorubas, woefully.
Thank you so much for that.
But not
okay.
them. Majority of them. We like the Igbos. If you see, I'm going to divert a little bit.
It's okay.
You hardly see any Igbo man or any Igbo woman right now that doesn't have agenda or a group that they belong to. In Europe, in America, wherever, in Nigeria, they communicate and they have one agenda. The Igbos, they have one agenda. Their politicians have forced by the boom to join them. Somebody like Obi. The obedience is an agenda of the Igbos.
Okay.
It's not the youth thing. So we have few Yorubas politicians that can easily work together with us, and they are willing to work together with us. I don't want to be naming names.
Okay.
But majority of these people, they have to be very, very careful because of their federal ambitions. So, campaign. But we have all Yoruba politicians. Akeredolu is one of them. Even the Tinubu is a core Yoruba man.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can go back to his statement when he said they told him to he should present a vice president. I'm not a politician.
Okay.
Fashola is another genuine Yoruba fellow.
Okay.
We have but ambitions wọn ni ò jẹ́ àwa la máa force wọn bí àwọn Igbo ṣe ń ṣe. Wọ́n máa gbọ́ sí wa lẹ́nu tipátipátipá.
But our people don't like that agenda when you say that again, because people believe that the Igbos, that are fighting their own politicians are too stuck. They are too hard. What you had, Momoju, and they look.
We cannot go that route the way they are going in a violence and a physical way like that. When we go that route, it's easy. It's easy to just knock us off. They will knock us off easily. Yeah. We will be.
Because that has been the expectation with the Yoruba self-determination struggle. Yes. Okay. Okay. So how do we then balance these movement of the agenda that is still on the table? There's no doubt everybody has an agenda. The agenda is to take the Yoruba land, and then also let our politician knows that we don't want them to take our land with this agenda. We don't know what game you guys are playing. How do we then have this communication between us and our politician? We rescue the politician. Are they going to rescue us in the long run?
Very, very brilliant question, Mr. Koiki. Sir, I think the agenda of the Igbos is now an eye-opener. Mostly what is going on regarding Lagos State now is an eye-opener for Yoruba politicians in general. All of them, they know what is going on, sir. They all know. It's an eye-opener for them. We knew people are building on this. There is no Yoruba man I will meet today now or tomorrow or next tomorrow that doesn't have any idea what is going on right now. Even all our politicians. Okay. So they know other people having movement, and there has been some some foul play in the way. Yes, and everybody has to protect his own land. Okay. So the only way which àwọn Yorùbá ti understand is pé nǹkan báyìí báyìí ṣẹlẹ̀. For us now, we have to propel.
We have to capitalize on it now. We have to capitalize on it.
And every other person, we need to propel it and make it known. Like the way people are coming out for Lagos now, the Yorubas, and the way everybody is doing right now is what we need to make a force.
Okay, so maybe that, before I let you go, maybe that would then help the movement in the long run. We will have to wait and see. Thank you so much, for the engagement. I can't, love you less, my brother. I love this caterpillar. Is that what you used to take this house that I've been?
This is what I sell. I export it.
Okay.
Just 30 seconds.
Yes.
Please, we need to soften everyone listening. The agenda, the OB agenda is the great obedient agenda is a great agenda.
But not to our own ancestral land.
It's an Igbo agenda. It's not meant for our youth.
Okay.
Yoruba youth.
It's
not.
Okay.
If you want somebody else, you can choose Showore or somebody who has never been in politics.
They say Showore should go and start as a chairman. That's what I don't understand. Thank you so much. I'm going to let you go. We spent quite a bit of time, and I want to bring a bishop in quickly. We're going to end from the Star Radio, but we will continue, with the sister broadcast because we are just about 4 minutes away. It's always a very tense situation like this. And one thing is, let's go straight to the MixLR and see what comment is coming from there. 108 people are listening to me live. Maybe you want to tell me where you're listening from. And then we'll MixLR. Breaking: INEC postpone governorship election. Really? Wow. There's a breaking news that the election has been postponed. That is just coming right now from Oluwa Shola Ayola. Let me confirm that to be sure. How come nobody's speaking that news? Maybe we got carried away. It is trending, breaking news. Let's see why that is going to happen. Wow, yes, it is confirmed. INEC has now said that election is being shifted. You can see that the situation is very, very tense. Just in the breaking news that is coming, thank you so much. You see, this is where we have to, live from Canada. Wow, you're listening to me from Canada, from London. Wow. And you are in London, in Mixel Army. Interesting that day, times ahead. I can appreciate every one of you. I hope it is very clear and you can listen to it. Very soon we're going to be streaming 24/7. Listening from Oduduwa land. I can confirm it is official. INEC has now shifted. Breaking news. I believe it's just out in just about a few minutes. Let's go straight to Italy. I only have 2 minutes before the end of this program, so need just about a minute plus. Go ahead. Mute the background here. There's a lot of noise. Mute the background here, please. There's a lot of noise coming out. Go ahead. I'm going.
Contribution to me for much. Gbogbo nǹkan tí wọ́n kàn fẹ́ create on this space ò ní pé wọ́n fẹ́ buy time wọn ni. Ẹ wò ó sìn ṣé gbogbo àwọn ìyá àgbàlagbà tó yẹ kí wọ́n ti jó ọjà wọn sìn just because of this election yìí sìn. Kí ni wọ́n fẹ́ sọ sí gbogbo yẹn because gbòòrò fídíò tí wọ́n send sí group wọn sìn tí mo wò tán sìn. Wọ́n lè máa sọ pé wọ́n pa security so definitely wọ́n deliberately lọ jó ọjà yẹn ni. Nídìí gbogbo orú nǹkan báyìí mistake tí wọ́n ti ṣe or error tí wọ́n ti ṣe evil mind tí wọ́n ti commit ọ̀nà fẹ́ fi in one way or the other ọ̀nà fẹ́ fi cover up in order to win this election by fire by force. And àṣepamọ́ ló wà kò sí àṣegbé. Gbogbo nǹkan tí wọ́n ń ṣe ní this so-called APC party gbogbo nǹkan tó ń ṣe àṣepamọ́ ni. This is the time for them to pay for it.
Okay, but pay for it in the way that is Enisuru because they should pay for it. This is where people are saying no. Pay for it. We have to first protect the ancestral land by not allowing anyone that is not an indigene, whatever to take that land. Maybe we should just think about that than rather say Kajaki APC pay for these consequence of what they've done. No,
if they say they shouldn't pay for it, who are not the indigene among the three of them?
Well, one is half blood. That's what they're saying. They say Gbadebo is not a full indigene.
Gbadebo is not a full indigene. But what do you call him? This elected president. He has so many the Igbo people in his cabinet. Commissioner, House of Assembly. What type of stupidity is that?
Ó gbàgbé nígbà yẹn kó lè má rántí. Kí ló ń pa yín lẹ́rìn? Ṣé fi ṣe gbé wáyàn ọ̀dà ni?
Àwọn tó máa ń sọ pé half Yorùbá half Igbo àwọn yẹn wọn mọ̀ kan tí wọ́n ṣe. Let them do the election. Let them all see APC they are Igbo.
Okay.
All
over Nigeria. Thank you so much. I'm going to let you go. You can see that the situation is quite tense. I'm going to allow my caller in. I believe my producer will give us about another 5-10 minutes, and then before we end, because we lost about half an hour at the beginning of the program. Hello, caller. You're live with us. INEC, according to the news coming out, breaking news, the election on Saturday is no longer going to happen on Saturday. It has now been moved to the 18th of March. Wow. Go ahead, caller. You're live with us.
Hello, Bros Koiki.
Yeah.
Reason tí gbogbo ẹ̀sùn rí bẹ́ẹ̀ lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ ni pé government in power, àwọn tó ń jẹ gómìnà lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ yẹn, àwọn bad breed, àwọn ọmọ olè, àwọn ọmọ ọ̀tá. Impunity lẹ́kọ̀ọ́, àwọn ọmọ olè, àwọn ọmọ agbowó olè. Àwọn agbèrò Koko Zaria MC Olúọmọ ẹ̀yìn tó fà á nìyẹn tí most people tí wọ́n fi ya wèrè pé tọ́jà Fúlàní gan ló fẹ́ contest wọ́n lẹ́dí àti dìbò Fúlàní yẹn.
But is that right?
Yeah, out of annoyance yẹn
Is Out of Alliance now going to sell the ancestral land, which is the argument that people are saying?
So to me, if this thing happen, somebody destroy the power of APC because APC as a party is like a court.
Okay.
That party is like a court. Somebody destroy the one it will even be a catalyst to Yoruba nation. It will be a catalyst to Yoruba nation. People that are not ready for Yoruba nation will join us.
Okay.
Yes, they will join us. Only one person so Oba Elekusi were. Bastard.
Yeah, lọ ṣe ń bẹ̀rù pé kí Gbádébọ̀ má lọ sit àwọn balẹ̀ Yorùbá. Ó dà. Ẹ ṣe kọ́ ni. Thank you so much, ẹ̀gbọ́n mi.
So, n tó máa jẹ́ mi prospect tó máa jẹ́ kí wọ́n join Yorùbá nation nìyẹn wọ́n ṣe èrè. Ẹ jẹ́ kí wọ́n destroy ìbẹ̀rẹ̀ yẹn dànù ká lè wù wọ́n dànù àwọn ọmọ olè àwọn ọmọ agbowó lẹ̀ Koko Zaria àwọn tí wọn kàwé tí wọn lọ school àwọn tó kàwé tó wà lettered they neglected them ìyà jẹ wọ́n. Listen here now, I'm better law.
Thank you so much. Well, you can see that the conversation is quite a little bit hot in here tonight. Let's go straight to, I believe, Shagamu, where we have, on the other side. Once again, this is Star Radio UK. Hello, caller. Eto Alori, I'm going.
Okay, Ekale.
Ekabo.
Lórí èyí bò fẹ́ gbé kòkò gbé kó kò yẹ kí ọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀ kó tẹ̀kọ̀ àwọn tá a agitate fún Yorùbá nation ìdí ní gbọ́mọ̀ pé àwọn Yorùbá lè yan wọn ni wọ́n yìnbọn pa àwọn Yorùbá tá a fẹ́ ṣe peaceful rally ní Èkó ni wọ́n pa àwọn èèyàn ní ensars kí ẹjọ́ tó ara wa tá a bá jẹ́ agitate tó gbòmìnira ilẹ̀ Yorùbá náà ń jà fún ẹ má yẹ ká sọ̀rọ̀ nípa ìbò kò bá jẹ́ Ìgbò ló gbà tá a bá gba Yorùbá nation ní kálukú máa padà lọ́lú ẹ̀. Desmond tó artist tó ṣe assembly ní Èkó ní Surulere ṣèbọn ọmọ Ìgbò ní APC náà ti jáde sáwọn náà fọra Ìgbò lẹ́ẹ̀kọ́ jáde fún nǹkan gbogbo àwọn tẹ̀ra Ìgbò lọ́dún palẹ̀ lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ torí àwọn fún ọlọ́kọ̀ tó gbé lè karamọ́ ni tí ó ti ń bẹ̀ kò sílẹ̀ tó kọ́ àpẹẹrẹ politics rírẹ́
o. Again, nothing concerns us inside the politics. Nothing. Nothing. I'm going to read a comment out, Chichi, in just about a few minutes. Bear with me, and then we're going to read that comment out. Nothing concerns us with election, according to the last caller. So the first caller was of the view that we should go with the PDP as against LP and the APC. The next caller says no election in Yoruba land. I'm not sure that is going to happen. We've been shouting that for a very long time. Nobody believed in that, and that is exactly why we are where we are today. If they believed in us, we wouldn't have to be in where we are. Hello, caller, you're live.
Yes, White Lion. Good evening.
Good evening. You have just about 2 minutes.
I know you winding up. And thanks for giving me the opportunity to speak.
You're welcome.
Can I ask you a question?
Go ahead.
Can they stay Lagos State from us under 8 years? Because I know the maximum of the new, even if PDP or LP came in as a governor.
Yes.
Are they going to use more than 8 years?
Well, definitely not. Definitely not. They can't use more than 8 years.
So I'm not in support of any political party.
Yeah.
I'm a Yoruba nation.
Okay.
Yoruba nation no going back. So understand me. But Mupaka will not come back and food. Gbogbo shady things not to share. Gbogbo shady things not to share. And we pray make another party wọlé.
Okay. Even in the course of allowing somebody, according to what people are saying, that this is not somebody that should be there. It does not matter. Even though the constitution doesn't say that Gbadebo cannot be the governor of Lagos State, but it is the citizen of Lagosians and the outsiders of those that love Lagos that are saying that.
It is no politician. It is those politicians. Our politicians they don't fool our way. They don't manipulate our way. And they telling us, "But tell us they start about party budget for 8 years. No man sit carry a money. So my dad go back our puro lori ile money.
Okay.
Why are they fooling us?
Okay.
Why are they fooling us? So if you know more people, we see, as far back as about 7 or 8 years ago, kí ló sọ. Ṣáwọn ní regard fún ilẹ̀ Yorùbá ni. So ìsinú ṣe mọ̀ pé ilẹ̀ Yorùbá lè kú.
Okay.
Èmi ṣe káàdùrà pàtì wọlé. So gbogbo ṣé ní tí tó ti ṣe sílẹ̀, wọ́n lè ikú tó ń pè ní politics ní now.
Okay.
Kò gbọ́dọ̀ máa lọ one-sided.
Kò gbọ́dọ̀ máa lọ one-sided.
Let everyone post comment. Yes. Kò gbọ́dọ̀ máa lọ one-sided.
All right. Káàdùrà
political party wọlé.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. No going back.
No going back. Thank you so much. Somebody said our politicians have failed us. Let's read what Chichi says. Is it only Igbos that says Lagos is no man's land? Why bounce on only the Igbos? If you think Peter Obi is Igbo's agenda, believe me, you're highly making a mistake. And if you want to know you are making a mistake, set Mazi Nnamdi Kanu free and give Biafra nation its Biafra. Then you will see that Igbos that can't turn forest into paradise. You will see how Lagos self. You will count the Igbos that will stay in Lagos. I have had the Edo elderly woman says Lagos is their own. Why the Yorubas are not bouncing on them? So if the Edo people are saying the same thing, why are we not bouncing on them? Hello, caller, you're live. Just under 2 minutes because of my time is almost up. It was okay. You're 2 minutes away. Yeah.
Number one, then ṣé bá sọ kò sọjà ń gbà mí aláàdé ẹ̀ ló máa bà wọn ò ní mọ̀.
Okay.
Ìjọba ìwọ́n ẹ̀ sọ́la ìdílé ìlú wọ́n fún propaganda yìí wáyé tí ní òṣèlú tí kò fi 15 weeks ago wọ́n pẹ́ àgbàtàn ní kí labour party ní 50 apc lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ ni wọ́n lọ sí gbogbo lẹ́yìn wáyé tó sọ ní 2-3 weeks ago and this guy particularly this labour party candidate this guy labour 15 this guy contested under PDP. Wọn sọ ń gbà pé kì í ṣọmọ Èkó ọmọ tó ní bàbá ẹgbẹ́ ọmọ Èkó and then also fún ìmọ̀ ṣé ọba ní bàbá ẹ̀ fẹ́ jẹ ṣé ọba Èkó ló fẹ́ jẹ ni ṣé ọba Èkó ló fẹ́ jẹ.
No.
Nípa àjọ àwọn èèyàn kan nípa àwọn èèyàn tó ń pè náà àwọn tí PDP APC rán wá let's believe wọ́n wà láàrin àwọn tó ń pè. Sọmọgẹ́ náà jẹ and then the only thing tó lè solve issue yẹn kí ìbàjẹ́ èmi ò tẹ̀ support wọn tó wọ́n mú ìwà yìí 100%, even God over 1,000%, undiluted Yoruba nation. But my prayer is pé wọ́n tẹ̀ gbà lọ́wọ́ APC. Ó jẹ́ ìrọ̀lẹ́ là. Ilé ìtọ́ ti ṣe for the past since 1999 up to date, ó ti tó.
Okay, since 1999, ó ti tó.
Since 1999, ọmọ tó bí 1999, èmi ti tún ti wà lọ́kọ̀ ọ̀sìn, èmi ti graduate. Àdé wọ́n kọ́ fún wọn lẹ̀. Àwọn èèyàn kan máa sọ̀rọ̀ ń gbà mí, bíkọ́ mi mọ̀, bóyá ọba Èkó ló fẹ́ jẹ ni.
All right, thank you so much. Shegoni.
This ọba Ẹlẹ́gùṣì àwọn rẹ̀sẹ̀ ìbò wà nù wọn rẹ̀sẹ̀ ìbò wà nù wọn Ẹlẹ́gùṣì tó sọ̀rọ̀ yìí o òun náà rẹ̀ ti lọ fáwọn yìí o. Mo sọ pé mo ìpò yẹn pé ẹlòmíràn sọ̀kù sọ́jà kò ní mọ̀ pé ara ilé ẹ̀rọ máa lọ fọ́ lórí. Everybody might get breakfast.
Thank you so much. If you sorry, I have to let you go. I'm gonna just make 2 more calls and then we're gonna start winding down. It's almost 10 minutes after my time. We should have ended this program 10 minutes ago. The expectation, I didn't even know that the INEC was going to postpone the election. If you're just joining us, INEC has postponed the election. Hello, caller, go ahead. You have just about a minute plus.
Hello, I call him Mr. Koiki.
Go ahead, I'm going.
Sherry, ọ̀rọ̀ tó ń lọ lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ yìí, mo lérò pé bí ó fún wa kó lè tún kàn wá. Ìdí tí ó fi kàn wá mẹ́ ni pé nínú ètò tẹ́ máa ń ṣàlàyé fún wa border is very important. Ká defend ẹ̀. Sherry ariwo Igbo kò ṣe Igbo, kò ń ṣe Igbo gangan ni agenda Lagos State. Àwọn Fúlàní ìgangan wọ́n ti plant a lot and then new president Dọ́yàn yìí wọ́n ti òun gangan wà nù Kàbá pẹ̀lú àwọn Haúsá yìí. So àwọn èèyàn kàn fojú pé Igbo àti Yorùbá wọ́n fẹ́ dá dúró. Àwọn Kàbá yìí wọ́n ń lo àwa àti Igbo papọ̀ má lè understand láti kọ́ńkà wọn. So gbogbo yẹn ni àwọn téèyàn dẹ̀ ń bá gbogbo àwọn ọba tó ń jáde yìí ọba ọmọ àlè ní gbogbo wọn ti ta wọn ti gbogbo wọn ti ta bá Haúsá yìí. So àwọn
wọ́n lò àṣírí iṣẹ́ láti lè máa sọ pé Yorùbá is not guinea kan ṣe rí ẹ̀jẹ̀ kí ẹ̀ máa tẹ̀lé Yorùbá nation lọ ẹgbọ̀rọ̀ Ọlọ́run máa dúró. So ká fi wọ́n lẹ̀ Saturday aṣojú gbogbo wa.
Oh no, because Saturday more what to postpone it. So it's on the 18th now. So election has been postponed. If you have just joined us, election that is meant to happen on Saturday is now going to happen on the 18th. Thank you so much. The caller Otunbade Kunle said Sanwo-Olu is the one pushing this narrative out. They are Yoruba people. Please think it's not possible for the Igbo to take over Lagos. I bet it with my life. Rashid Zabili says, stop selling your land to the Igbos. If you feel that the Igbos are after Yoruba's land, give them referendum. Let us religionalism. I'm not sure what that means. Yawa Olajuma Kalabi, very good evening. Yawa Sophie Bolanle, you said, why should INEC postpone election? Anyway, INEC is APC. You also went on to say, come to think of it, Lagosians deliberately sold their properties to Igbos. Elegushi even said Lagos is not part of Yoruba land. So there are people behind Yoruba Nation rally killing the NSAS. I beg, I don't change my mind. Let the Igbos take it. When we have Yoruba Nation, everyone will go their Papa land. Or they know Yoruba. Now they know Yoruba exists. You also went on to say, my main concern is if we did not defend Lagos because of the negativity that happened before, are we going to carve out Ekpe, Ikorodu, Agbowa, Awori, Badagry out of Lagos? Let APC bring someone else for Lagos governor. It is not about half Igbo, half Yoruba. In fact, Gbadebo is more of Yoruba because his father is a Yoruba Lagosian, but Gbadebo agenda is more of Igbos. Good evening to you, our mother. Happy Women's Day to all our listeners. I've given my producer. So in just about 5 minutes, we will be ending the program. You said, and I quote Mrs. Mosumola, I am in full support of Gbadebo to be a governor in Lagos State. SS Omowomi says, Yoruba Nation not going back. Okay, Mighty, my brother, good evening to you. Ola Kinyemi, you say Yoruba Nation not going back. Benga Ayodele Odua, good evening. And also, my brother, my Egbon, you say, please allow the caller to go, please. You also went on to say, Mr. Koiki, since 1999, it was Yoruba man, Governor, Lagos. I'll take that again. Mr. Koiki, since 1999, it was Yoruba man, Governor of Lagos State. Who they help with a question mark. Jack Olushola, Egbomi, you also went on to say, caller, no matter what you say, Lagos must be governed by full-blooded Yoruba man, period. Oyinbo case is different, please. You also went on to say, hey, this Yoruba is too much. Our Omo wa ton fe Oyinbo is different. At least it is not Hausa or Igbo ni won fe. His mother is an Igbo woman, not Oyinbo, please. I think I rectified that already. Who else is there? Shegun, my brother. Think Yoruba first before any other consideration. As much as I know a lot of you still, okay, let me allow, wow, Professor, it's been a while. You seem Professor, Professor tún kàwé mi ni máa gbúrò yín tó jọ́ mẹ́ta. Hello, Professor.
Yes, sir.
You're live.
Mi ò fẹ́ dá sí ọ̀rọ̀ yìí, mo máa dá sí.
Ẹ̀gbọ́n ayé.
Ọmọ àlè ló máa ní síbò. Mo sẹ́ni nǹkan tí wọ́n ṣe ní Abá. In Abá in Catholic Church, wọ́n ní kí wọ́n gbalẹ̀ Yorùbá. Is that how we are going to continue? Tábà ń bára wa jà ọjọ́, òun ṣe pé káwá ní kí Igbo wá. Agenda wọn ni láti ìgbà sí.
Okay.
We cannot continue it. In any country, it's not like that. It cannot happen in Britain. It cannot happen in Igbo land. Oh, that you bad Igbo in Igbo land. In Hausa land, the same thing. You cannot say that. Agenda and total Yoruba, more than I might take over Lagos by homie. How can we open our eyes and allow enemies to take over our way from here? Now, Tabamba APC is a different thing. You support one. But if it is very dangerous.
Crossroads.
It's very dangerous. It can't happen in any country. Tabanda India, Tabanda vote. Gujarati, one loss in Lumo. Maratha, one loss in Lumo. Last year, in Ghana, Northern Ghana, lost in Ghana, one loss in Northern Ghana, Southern Ghana, what? No, everywhere. Go to your area. One PBC, let America. They will not take land to you. Not I'm a common Tinubu. That's why they will come with a problem here. But it is not late. So what was in the
wàá ṣe gẹ́gẹ́ o ò ní àyè. I think you said this one time. Even in Britain, how much I know about now? You have been there for years. Can you be boasting there? No. Even though you are stayed there, you have contributed to the economy of the British or Britain. You know your limit. I will not motivate you. I will not create a problem in South Africa. I will not create a problem in Ghana. I will not create almost everywhere. In North, watch a meeting in last week, in North, in Kano, that they should send them away. Look, why every romantic create a problem? More than say, let's say, not now. What pound are you? What are we trying to say? Baba Parawaja, Aparawaja. Oko King Sepe, you know, lady. So, what will you come with me? Okay. I'm not in it. I'm never watching it all. I want to tell you this. So, you want the book? This one, what is the book? You will access the one. Check me on that. I'll become opportunity. Government here, what is the book here? What is the book? It's our pharmaceutical. Here, I'm working all those things. What is the book here? And that is the law. Don't have for any idea. It's my side. I need to come. It's not all right. Talk about this one in the year. What is the book here? And all those things. Can they allow it to be used? Yorùbá ilẹ̀ Yorùbá ilẹ̀ Yorùbá àwọn àníjẹ́ contact àbọ̀ alẹ́ wọn lọ because they don't allow us in our area wọ́n ti lọ ní South Africa wọ́n ti lọ ní Guinea so let us be very careful ṣe addition ló ń sọ wọ́n bí lórí ẹ̀wì can allow kọ́mọ Igbo wá I send a particular video to this line watch it how we are not in take the picture pé tó ọba gbalẹ̀ Yorùbá is not going to be good pé kí wọ́n dín kan pẹ̀lú other tribe. Is that what they're supposed to be saying? Lord, we have been in a different country. Don't allow another year. We see what I'm having to do. How come I don't? About your validation? Yes, we want your validation. But now, why they allow people to now come? Even I don't know that I want to go here. It's not their property. Watch it not. You won't come. Wọ́n ní àtẹ́sí àtẹ́sí wọn kò ní dẹ́kun báńkẹ̀ tó bá lálẹ́ tí ò ṣe yẹ wọ́n wà lórí kí tó wọ́n á rí bókè wọ́n á lùsí ẹ̀ bísẹ̀ tó ṣe wọ́n á rí bókè ẹ̀ wọ́n ti rí bókè fún ọ náà what are we going to say now? Are we going to say the northern don't go jàdé the northern elder held meeting last Thursday and that Sunday about these two small people because of what they are doing wọ́n go religion Israel ni mi but you don't use religion. Nígbà tó bí wà bẹ́ẹ̀ kí ló ṣe? Òbí ló create problem láàrin Anglican àti Catholic. Ó gbalẹ̀ Anglican pé fún kínní. Kò conduct local government election for 7 years 10 months. Òun ló bá àwọn POB tó gbé kínní wá. Ìbí sọ́mọ ìgbàjì ó gbẹjọ́. What are we trying to say? Is that the type of person we say we want? No. Àwọn ọ̀gbẹ́ Tinubu ò dá ọ̀tún ìbẹ́ta ẹ̀.
Ẹ ṣe gan ni Professor. Because of the time constraint, I'm going to let you go. Eshegoni Professor, and it's been a while we've heard from him. He's a professor in one of the university. I don't want to mention for his own safety that follows and a full supporter of Yoruba Nation. Just under a minute plus, go ahead quickly because the time is now fast approaching. I've already asked for up to 9 p.m. and I only have less than 10 minutes left. Hello, caller. Oh, what happened there? Once again, you can say that the situation when it comes to this expectation, even the expectation has been moved to the 18th, so there's still more conversation around it. Yoruba Nation is still what we say, but some Yoruba people say we don't want Yoruba Nation now, but we must protect the ancestral land. Hello, caller from Belgium. Go ahead. Agbonyo. Hello? Hello? Hello, caller? All right, I'm going to let you go because we can't hear you, so I'm not sure what is going on. This is going to be my last call because we're going to start winding down. I have just 8 minutes to end the program. Hello, go ahead, fire on. Good evening.
Hello, Ekale, sir.
Ekale.
Emi ò ní level Sanwo-Olu or no Sanwo-Olu, but the thing is, in other regions, is it possible for Yoruba to penetrate sufficiently this way and be able to be in charge to that extent? They go, okay, one control our government. That is one thing. So sharing, because it's not about politics now, but it's just.
But it's not about politics. But Tinubu was also using them, at some point, from what people have said, as a commissioner. Was that a stepping stone? Was that the right thing in the right direction?
Ordinarily, because of the liberal way of Yoruba, it wouldn't have been a bad thing. But only that others in different regions, they don't do the same thing. So at the end of the day, we pay for it dearly by being liberal. That's my own observation.
So our consequence is Afenifere rejecting Tinubu's victory in 6 Peter Obi 1. Okay, quite an interesting time ahead. Afenifere is one of our social cultural groups. They've been around for a very long time. I'm just picking up the headline now. Afenifere rejecting Tinubu's victory in 6. Before I let you go, I know you're an intellectual person. So in this direction right now, your own take is protect the ancestral land, even whatever it is, for the time being.
Yes, I feel like that should be the right way to go.
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, whether we have Yoruba nation and all, there's need to be careful with our actions, because there could be consequences over time.
Okay.
Especially considering the fact that in other regions we don't enjoy the same acceptance. As commissioner of Guinea in some regions,
yes.
Commissioner for whatever. He's a Yoruba man.
Okay.
So there's need to balance these things, even though these politicians are terrible, it's a fact. But
okay, after this whole election, would this give us a different direction into either the protection of the ancestral land, the self-determination?
Yes, and as a matter of fact, there's a limit to what we can do, because anybody in Nigeria can stay in any part of Nigeria. That's what the Constitution says. Only that from our own individual can be mindful of,
Can you mute the background, Mr. Olasheni, please? Mute the background and I'll let you in just about a few minutes. Mute the background, Mr. Olasheni. Go ahead, the call on the studio number. Mr. Olasheni, mute yourself.
Okay, based on our constitution, anybody can stay in any part of the country.
Okay.
That is a given.
All right.
But apart from that, individually, for instance, because he has big money, you can go for me, all these things we need to be careful over time, so that we don't end up.
Maybe somebody like Dangote might have that influence, in the years to come, especially with this kind of $90 billion investment in Lagos. I'm going to let you go for your very, very intellectual conversation. I couldn't say thank you more. Bokini, my brother, go ahead. You have just about a minute, less than a minute, 2 minutes, because we have to end in just about 9 p.m. We've gone over my time on the studio Niger Voices. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you very much. Koiki,
Yoruba
nation, and that's the message. And myself, I will continue to preach Yoruba nation until we get what we want. But I want our people to also look at it critically. About historically, the idea of Lagos is no man's land, for instance, started even way back from now. Jajan Wakiko was the first man to publicly say this. Even British Lagos is for everybody. So from the onset. And if you look at the Fulanis as well, they talk of they want to dip the Quran in the Atlantic Ocean. It's also Lagos. Lagos is a strategic place for the Yoruba people, just as Ilorin was back in the days at the Mokoto Ilorin. So for us, we need to protect our region as much as we want to leave that contraption called Nigeria. The reason why we're in this mess is simply because of that 1914 amalgamation and the white people putting us in all this mess. Yoruba people are Peju Yatangelo. Babakito is only last year. It was just during Kiriji War, remember me? Because you already Yoruba Pechi Ibi Loma Fisofuwa. Critically, let's understand the fact that these guys are strategic. There is danger on the ground from all sides.
And that is my brother there. If you don't know them, follow them. They're Yoruba Clubhouse. 3 minutes to the 2100 hours. Wow. It is what it is. Yoruba land must be protected. Yoruba land must not be taken away from us. But one thing is, our politicians have made some big mistakes, and we are now all paying for the consequence of such. Is Tinubu as a Yoruba president, or should I say as a Nigerian president, will do the needful now? Or are we going to come back to this conversation after? We're not taking any more calls, please. Nobody should call in again. We won't be able to take any more call on this program for now. The situation probably now has been reduced. When I was having this conversation with my producer this morning on the topic, nobody knew INEC was going to postpone the election to the 18th. So election is no longer happening this Saturday. It's now going to come up on the 18th of March 2023, according to INEC. Nobody must take anybody as ancestral land. Wind of collusion is blowing in Nigeria by Ade Digbe. And I guess I get the last comment from the Mix LR, which is coming from Daniel. Nigeria have failed. Military will still take over this country created by the government called Nigeria. No, military will take over this country created by British government called Nigeria in 1914, but Yoruba nation will stand. Thank you to all 136 listeners on the Mix LR. Good evening once again to each and every one of you. As I'll be handing over to my producer, Mr. Archie, it is a fantastic evening. We will protect our land, but we must also remember that we don't even know what part of the land has been sold or leased outside the domain. The Yoruba land is a very, very strategic position, not just for the Igbo, not for the Hausa, also for all the other 300 ethnic groups. Every one of them would love to take that part of what is known as Nigeria today. We also have the international community that has a very, very big influence. Let me remind you, the American is building the biggest embassy in Africa in Lagos State. It is a strategic position for them, not just for today, but for a very, very long partnership with Yoruba Nation, if that comes through anytime soon, or with Nigeria when that project is completed. The Chinese love us, but they believe that having our ancestral land will be a benefit, and that's why they've been digging into a lot of our resources. I can't go further than this. It's exactly 2100 hours, and I say shout out to every one of you. It is the finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. This is Niger Voices. My name is Olayomi Koiki. And as usual, I'll be back same time next week. We did not even have any music played throughout, but I would say, for those of you that was with me, I say, welcome. And I hand over back to Archie in the studio. Thank you so much to every one of you that have joined us. And I say, Ile Yoruba, Onigbamo Alowo, Yoruba nation is now going back, and it is forever. Have a very good evening, and bye for now.